Good evening, good morning. Welcome to another pointless episode of the show. I am your lovable host, Harry. To the left of me is Tyson.
There's no meaning to this show, but let me talk to you.
No meaning whatsoever. And we are on the heels of Elimination Chamber all the way down under in Australia. Talk about that. We got some Raw, we got some SmackDown, and what was it? Halloween Havoc. WCW Halloween Havoc on the docket as well. And Tyson, how you doing?
I am tired. I actually watched Elimination Chamber live, so
Oh,
we're
well,
on like 4 hours sleep, bro.
better you than me on that one.
Yeah, I needed to watch it live. By the way, if you did watch it live, in the comments, let us know what time it started for you. I was 4:30 here, or 4.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I could have watched it live, I guess. I was up. But I
Well,
was too.
there was a little bit of a war on Twitter. The
How's it?
who watched it live and who didn't. Like,
Oh.
oh, you're a geek if you watched it live. Why are you waking up at 4 in the morning to watch a wrestling show? And then you got the people defending it. Well, this is what I do for a living. You're not helping your case. Now, if you would have said, "Why did I make more money at 4 in the morning than you will have make all week?" Then that's something.
Yeah, that. I wonder how much a wrestling journalist makes.
I don't know. Uh, we'll find out soon when we
Oh
get
yeah.
monetized and get our CPMs.
See, what the fuck is that?
So it's how much you get paid per 1,000 views.
Oh.
So when we start getting that, then we'll know how everybody else is doing it, and then we can calculate. Oh, well, we know our CPM. Let's calculate what they make.
Oh boy.
Look forward to it, of course.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
if it's I was gonna say if it's like so like gaming creators, their CPMs are like because mostly kids are watching the gaming stuff. So their CPMs are like $1 or $2. So that's why a lot of them post like every day and stuff because they pretty much have to get 1 million views to do anything.
mm, I don't know. I just talk about wrestling.
Yeah, it's
Whatever
just
it
another
comes.
thing. I
Yeah.
mean, being a podcast, we're gonna have a higher CPM. I can tell you that already. I know those for a fact through my research. Probably
Well,
be
it's
around eight to $10 somewhere per 1,000 views.
so. Do you only get paid per 1,000 views? Is that how it works?
Yes, but it's not per
Okay.
video. It's just like total of a month. So like whatever we get for that month, it would all be calculated.
So we could post 10 videos, but get 1,000 views on, you know, on outside of those 10 videos, and that counts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as long
Hmm.
as it was within the month frame.
What happens if you get less than 1,000?
I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah, we
And then
will.
the real question is, and you have to get $100 to get a payout. So, so it might be like 3 months before we actually get a payout, but
Mm.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
If we get a payout.
We'll get a payout,
Okay.
bruh. We're doing like, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We're doing like 15,000 views a month right now, anyway. So that would be $150 if that math is right. See, I was going to do it later because I didn't want to do the math on the spot.
Gotcha. Well, let's go on the spot to Anaheim, California for Monday Night Raw. Shall we?
Monday Night Raw.
Jey Uso's in the house. He's got a match later with Gunther, and he looks like an idiot with stupid sunglasses.
Now Jay's cool.
Mm.
It's
Judgment
just
Day's
me, Oos.
Judgment Day's also in the house, and they look like they're dressed to go down the street to a gas station. Like, I don't know what the wardrobe thing is with WWE now, but they all look like scrubs. Cody and Gunther are the only ones that seem to care about their appearance.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even pay attention.
I did, because first of all, Balor, he dresses like somebody that's not his skin color. And Dominic, he has like all these accessories, and McTurd, he's like the poor man's X-Pac of the group. And then Priest is Priest.
Well, I did notice that Balor part. I was like, man, he sure does dress. He sure is getting more hip hop. He was
Yeah.
like wearing a bandana shirt.
Yeah.
Like,
And he wears the
what are you
bucket
thinking
hats
here?
and shit.
Yeah, who do you think you are, Balor?
And that's the thing. Like, dude, you're Irish. You're from the
furthest thing.
motherland.
Yeah, you're like the furthest from it.
Right. Yeah. So Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, they start off the show. And I was actually surprised this was the first match of the night.
Well, again, we start. Last week we started. This week we started with wrestling. Maybe it's the new thing that they do is just start off with their banger match. And now that'll be interesting to see what happens like during football season because usually you would start the show with a talking segment to set up the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're starting with like action, it'll be interesting to see what happens during football season.
Seems like they're mixing it up. Or not mixing it up. They go in phases. Like they'll have a period or a stretch of time where they'll start off with promos and shit. And then they do the interruptions. And then it turns into a match. And now it seems like they're going through a phase where they just go through matches. Or straight to the match, rather.
Yeah. Well, they're changing. It's like, I don't know, that new guy. I guess he's trying to create more of a sports feel. I don't even know if he does that call anyway, but
Right.
I think he just does like the graphics and stuff.
Well, Cody did a million Cody cutters. And I'm kind of at the point where it's like, why have a signature move if it doesn't mean shit?
I don't know.
Okay. Jimmy tries to attack Cody. He fails. And then Cody ultimately gets hit with Solo's Samoan Spike while he goes for a crossroads on McIntyre. McIntyre hits Cody with a Claymore for the win. And I didn't really have a problem with any of this except for one of the bitches McIntyre has is he was screwed over by the bloodline and he didn't bat an eyelash. And fuck me, Michael Cole agreed with me.
Yeah, he called him a hypocrite.
Yeah, it made me feel dirty.
Yeah, it was good callback to WrestleMania 39 because that was the same finish.
Oh, was it?
Except, yeah, Roman Reigns instead of Drew McIntyre.
Huh. Well, later Cody's in the medical area. And it looks like he's only selling the spike, which I thought was kind of funny. And then Rollins, he comes in and he pats Cody on the back and basically says, "I told you so," because he needs Rollins.
Yeah,
And then
it was setting up for what was probably to come in Elimination Chamber.
I guess. Way later in the show, McIntyre gloats about being the second person to pin Cody during his great run. The other person was Roman. And then McIntyre says he's not a hypocrite. He sees the big picture in regards to the bloodline assisting him in defeating Cody.
Well, this is the new McIntyre. He doesn't care.
I guess. But even when he was transitioning into this new McIntyre, that was one of his bitches. Like it wasn't like an old bitch. This is a recent thing that he's been talking about. I've been screwed over by the bloodline. I think you said it last week.
Well, he said when he was telling Cody, you know how it's going to end. The bloodline's going to interfere.
I've been screwed over by them. Seth's been screwed over by them. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I didn't like it. I did like the match though, except that Cody just, I don't understand why you have a signature move if it doesn't mean anything. If you're going to do 100 of them and not one single one of them puts him away, that doesn't seem like a signature move to me. That just seems like a move. You just do a fancy clothesline. That's what that tells me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, after that, damn, I'm fucking up my name. Ildolio had a
El Idolo.
Thank you. He had a vignette. Dildo Leo. Yeah, whatever. Says he
you got to nail it on the first one.
Yeah. Says he comes from a long line of wrestling history. He even married into it. But that doesn't but he doesn't live in his ancestor's shadow. He controls his own destiny. I like the cool presentation, actually. And nobody does skull imagery like the folks down south. So,
yeah, his masks are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. No Definition Rodriguez got handed an Elimination Chamber spot for some reason. There's no fucking way Jade Cargill's worse than No Def Rodriguez. And this is why you don't give a shit about women's wrestling. WWE doesn't want me to.
Well, I pretty much knew when Jade Cargill didn't show up that was going to be the winner. This was the second chance battle royal. The winner gets a shot at the Elimination Chamber. Now they called it. I'm sorry, it was the last chance battle royal. It wasn't a second chance because there's way more women in there that was trying to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I thought it was either going to be her or Chelsea Green, which was oddly over in this match, and people are starting to, I don't know, want to see more out of her. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. We can do it now because the freaking internet wrestling community, they just think they can control things now because of the whole Cody. They got the Cody story changed. Now they're, oh, we want Chelsea Green, we want Liv Morgan. They just think they can voice their opinions and it'll change. Oh yeah, we can just create what we want now. let's start hashtagging this, and then they'll have to do it because they listen to us. And that's why they shouldn't have changed the Cody match.
Well, the difference is that the Cody thing had what, like 300,000 retweets and engagements or whatever the fuck it is. The We Want Liv Morgan, when I looked, it was like 2,000 tweets. So,
well, I'm just saying, they just think they can start a hashtag and then they're gonna get their way for everything now. They can just freaking rewrite the show.
Isn't that Twitter though?
I don't know. It just seems worse now.
Okay, fair enough.
Even though, like, I even saw like one of the comments on the hashtag is like, "Come on, guys, let's keep retweeting this. We can change. We can make the change."
You actually saw that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that person's an idiot.
Like, God, man, see, you bend the knee, and now this is what you do. This is what you enter into.
Let's retweet so Liv Morgan can get more screen time. That's good job, champ. Chelsea Green. Let's more of that. See, the modern wrestling fan just irritates the fuck out of me.
Well, I get Chelsea Green.
Why?
Like, well, she has more uh, charisma. She has personality.
What does she do in the ring that's so great?
I don't care about the wrestling. You know I don't care about the wrestling. Why would you
Well,
ask me something about the
it's
wrestling? I'm
because
talking about
then
what
watch a fucking soap opera. This is wrestling.
we are watching a soap opera.
No, we're
It is
watching wrestling.
it is weekly episodic television
It
episodes.
is revolved
You know what
around
else has
it is
episodes?
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Does the
Wrestling
NFL
comes
have
first.
episodes? No, it doesn't. Does Gunsmoke have episodes? Yes, it does. Does Walking Dead have episodes? Yes, it does. There's episodes, and they're the one they touted that. Oh, the longest reigning episodic television.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's
well
called
then,
World Wrestling Entertainment. Wrestling comes
entertainment.
first.
I don't care where it falls in the
It
chain
comes
of the
first.
words.
It comes first.
You have to be entertaining
It's
too.
wrestling. If you want to watch a bunch of dudes just talk to each other, then watch fucking Jersey Shore.
But I'm saying
I'm
it
not
has to
gonna
be
I'm not
more.
gonna bend on this. It's fucking wrestling. I get that there has to be charisma, and I get that there has to be some sort of story, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good the story is if the fucking match sucks.
Well, I'm saying you can get good wrestling anywhere. You can go like
You can't get good
down
wrestling
to
anywhere.
your local bingo hall where the wrestling. I've watched good wrestling out of GCW, and I don't watch GCW. And I watched one of the matches, and it was a decent match. And it's like, see, they
Is that
do.
Jarrett's promotion?
It's Janela's,
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you
Then
can get
I'm
good
gonna have to
wrestling
I'm
anywhere.
gonna disagree with you on principle. There's no way there's a good match on that.
Well, he
Who
wasn't
was
in
it?
it. I don't remember. Actually, it's not that I don't remember. I didn't know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why people are getting behind. I guess they're starting to get behind Chelsea Green. I judge it off of like who gets a reaction. If you come out and you're just like as boring as mayonnaise, then I don't care how good of a wrestler you are. It's not going to do anything for me.
Well, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. However, I don't care if you're the funniest thing ever, R-Truth. If you suck in the ring, I'm not going to be interested in you. Or if you're just a joke. Or if I'm not supposed to take you seriously, you're just a clown. Which Chelsea Green is. She's just a stuck-up bitch that gets her ass whooped and lucks into victories. I don't want to see more of that.
Well, she actually hasn't won a match in like forever, but
Well, she lucked into victories with Piper.
well, I'm saying singles match. She hasn't.
Okay, fine.
I don't even know if she's
But
won
what
a
I'm
single
saying
match.
is like her victories. She's not like a strong competitor or somebody that wins. She's somebody that like I don't know. The fat girl falls on her opponent, and then she happens to roll on the person for a cover. That type of shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're
Hey,
saying.
yeah,
We're on equal sides of the
yeah.
of the fence here, but that's okay.
So Rhea Ripley and a hippopotamus are interviewed. They did that side by side remote location setup thing that they should use more often. And I went into it with an open mind, but then Ripley went in on about like the last time she competed in Australia, and then I lost what remaining fucks I had for this segment. And I'm glad it didn't end with one of them teleporting to the other location, like they sometimes do.
Fair enough. There's not much to break down on that, really.
All right. So I skipped the R-Truth segment and match. I haven't found the fucks yet at this point.
So we're basically building towards R-Truth winning the tag titles. I I guess what the Miz
Is-
would be the person. But yeah, he did an interview where he was talking about getting kicked out of the Judgment Day. So now he's like realizing that he's not in the Judgment Day, and then I don't know. He was trying to say some funny stuff, but it it wasn't really working for me. He said stuff like, "I haven't been this sad since I watched the season finale of This Is Us." So I've never watched that, so that went over my head. And then he said something
yeah,
about,
it's a sad ass show. I've never watched it, but my people watch it. And
oh,
it's one of them like, oh, how many times can I get you to cry this episode type shows?
okay. And then he made another reference. She was like, how hurtful was it that it was Damian Priest that's done this? And then he said something about Damian Priest being his pigeon from The Sopranos. Again, another reference I didn't get. Um, so yeah,
Pigeon.
yeah, something about. Remember at the end of The Sopranos when they let the pigeon go and Damian Priest was my pigeon. Well,
Huh. I don't remember that. Looks like I'm gonna have to binge watch me some Sopranos.
well,
Specifically for that scene, so I can come back 6 months later.
like I found it. And
Yeah,
yeah, so that was pretty much the thing there. But yeah, so it may have been funny, but both of the things went way over my head because I never watched either one of them. And then we get to
surprised you haven't
the
watched Sopranos.
I haven't.
It's actually a good show.
I'll I'll go even one further with you. I haven't watched The Godfather either.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh,
That one's a commitment. But The Sopranos, it's just this guy breaking the law, fucking bitches.
hmm.
Him imposing his will on everything. And then it's James Gandolfini. And at some point during the show, you're going to be like, how are all these hot bitches just like killing themselves over this fat fuck?
Is he the one? Is it the one where it's like, I'm making an offer he can't refuse?
No, that's Godfather.
Oh, okay. I have to be in like the right mood to watch a, I don't know, a gangster show or movie.
That's fair.
I usually like to stick to superhero stuff and comedy stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm in, and then you got your action. I have to be in the right mood to watch action too.
Really?
I'll just like sit down and watch action.
Oh, see, I have to be in the right mood for comedy. Because I'm one of those that I'll see the poster or whatever. This ain't gonna be funny.
Well,
But in an action movie, I can just sit down and just watch in the middle of and get it. Especially kung fu movies.
yeah, there's some kung fu movies that are pretty good.
They're all good.
There's a new one coming out that I kind of want to see. I don't know the name of it, but looks pretty good. Like, when you see a comedy, or I'm sorry, when you see a kung fu movie, and there's like an outlandish fight set up,
Mm-hmm.
then you want to watch that. Like, there was one movie where these two dudes were literally fighting in a bathroom stall, and they're like punching and moving their heads and hitting the wall.
I was watching Ip Man. I think it was the third one, and they fought in an elevator, and his wife was with him, so he had to fight this Muay Thai kickboxer guy, assassin thing, while protecting his wife, and just the craziest outlandish shit. And I like when they do the thing where they fight with one hand. I don't know. They just do shit that you would never do.
I did watch one with the elevator scene, and then like they were fighting, and then someone like this old lady gets on the elevator and they just stop and then they're just waiting until she gets out. And then after she gets out, they start fighting again.
Yeah, and I
Like, at
like
least
that
there's
too.
honor.
Yeah, the honor aspect of it. Like I was watching this movie Killzone, where this detective is chasing this notorious gangster, and they end up fighting on the street. And the cop he has golf clubs, right? And instead of like an American would just beat the shit out of it. Just
Yeah.
beat the shit out of the guy unarmed. We don't care. But the cop, he made sure to slide a weapon to the gangster so he could defend himself. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fucking solid.
Yeah, those are always good ones. I saw
Yeah.
one like that too, where yeah, he had like a stick and he breaks the stick over his knee and throws his throws the guy the other half.
Yeah, how fucking cool is that? I'd
Yeah.
never do that.
Like up.
Oh, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
looks like looks like I'm the only one with a weapon. You want to just surrender? Oh shit, where were we?
Yeah, I don't know what got us there.
Oh, our truth somehow. So Michael Chandler, he calls out Conor McGregor. And for a second, I thought he was going to call out Sheamus because he was talking about there's an Irish man he has an issue with. And I know they're the same company, but something doesn't sit right with me about a UFC fighter calling out another UFC fighter during a wrestling show.
Cross promotion.
I get that. I do. I get that. But it's just, I don't know. Like you got the real fighters promoting their real fights.
Yeah, during the yeah, I heard people had problem with it. Now, there's one thing I did notice, Conor McGregor. I noticed that there
Mm-hmm.
was that angle of the WrestleMania sign. And I was
Oh,
thinking, there's no way. There's no way they're gonna do like this fight at WrestleMania.
I
Especially
mean,
given with what you said, because one's a stage and one's a real fight. So you're gonna like put on a real fight in the middle of all that. Or maybe they do like a combo weekend. But it's highly likely that Conor McGregor showing up at WrestleMania. Maybe that's where he answers this nobody's challenge. You about to get your ass beat, Tyson Chandler. I just want you to know that. You calling out McGregor, and you now you're gonna get this work. And he
well,
ain't gonna break his leg this time.
they they did the Floyd Mayweather Giant thing. That was pretty real. Giant got his nose broken.
Yeah.
Giant sumo wrestled some sumo champion. So I mean, they've done real shit. I mean, I see what you're saying about
Bart
a real fight.
Bart Gunn versus Butterbean.
Yeah.
Got his ass knocked out.
Ah, man, it's a shame we won't see that. Well, we will eventually.
Yeah.
So Sami Zayn had an interview. The losses are racking up, so Sami needs to let McIntyre go and focus on the bigger picture. Sami says he needs to do something historic, and at Mania, he will be a champion. So he's either facing Logan Paul or Gunther. And if he beats Gunther, oh my God.
Well, Logan Paul's already seemingly taken, so
Oh, if he beats Gunther. This fucking skinny, nothing, homeless fucking Serbian Canadian mix. Or Syrian. I think Serbia is a different. I will be so pissed.
well, it's a possibility. And then I also noticed that they're heating up Mr. Gable again.
I don't know why.
Well,
He was watching Tozawa butt fuck Otis 2 weeks ago. He's done. There's
I
no.
told you. We told you. We said it was going to happen. He's going to be treated as a joke, and then all of a sudden, boom! Now he's we're supposed to expect that he's going to take the title off of Gunther.
Ugh.
But
I would have slightly less of no. I would. I no. There's nobody that can
maybe,
beat Gunther right now.
and that's the thing, maybe they do like a triple threat or something like that, and then that way someone, I don't like it. I'm saying it, and I
Yeah.
don't even like it. Like someone else can pin, someone else, so Gunther doesn't have to get pinned.
Right.
But 600 days to not even get pinned is
Right.
kind of.
Yeah. It needs to mean something. I like. I just like him winning the heavyweight title and
Be
kind of
double
letting the
champion.
IC title go.
Well, see, he can't do that either because you know he's
There's
been
precedent for it though.
not for him. All he's done is talk about building that title up and how
And
he's
he has, and he's so far. He said, there's I've taken it as far as I can take it. There's nobody left for me to fight.
there was gonna be.
So then, so the next challenge for me is to step into the main event picture. I thought they were going to do an angle with him and Seth, where he just takes Seth's title.
And then just gives up his other title.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, it depends. I mean, do you want his first loss to actually be a huge deal? Because what's a bigger deal than him taking his undefeated streak into that world heavyweight title scene?
Well, I would like for him to put someone over,
Exactly. Yeah.
but you know, I mean, he'd have to take the loss. So if he's in the title picture, whoever he puts over, then that doesn't really like that person's already going to be, at that level because they're
Not if
competing for a heavyweight title.
not if you do it where he wins the title and then you build up somebody to face Gunther. Like, I don't know, Braun Breaker. They seem to be really high on him. They haven't ruined him yet.
They're doing some good things with Braun Breaker.
Eh.
Unfortunately, he just got signed to SmackDown, so
Well, they still can. They don't give a shit about that. They can work into that.
I actually pitched that a couple weeks ago. Remember?
Yeah,
Let
you
him be
did.
the one, like
He's the only one right now that makes sense. Because I mean,
because he hasn't been tainted yet.
Sammy's a loser, huh?
Because he hasn't been tainted yet.
Yeah, Sammy's a loser. Anybody in the mid card just sucks. McIntyre might be the only one right now. McIntyre, Cody, the main event people.
See, I would want it to be someone who needs the rub. Because at this point, it's almost like getting the and it's not the same. Calm down here, but it's almost like getting the Undertaker streak.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's someone who needs that to get to the next level, and like, okay, now this is the guy.
No, I'm with you, and that's why I'm saying if in my world he would beat Seth, and then I would have him hold the title until you have somebody from NXT that you know is going to be your next world heavyweight champion. And if you already have it with Braun Breaker, then great. So have Gunther hold it for a year and then build up Braun Breaker.
But in your scenario, he relinquishes the IC title.
Like the Ultimate Warrior did, yeah. That way he doesn't have to. That way, when he finally loses his first match, that's a huge fucking deal. And it's the person that beats him is somebody that's up and coming. It's not going to be like a Randy Orton or a Drew McIntyre, somebody that, okay, they've been there, done that. It's going to be somebody that like, oh shit, they slayed the dragon. this is somebody that we need to focus on now.
It could be the Money in the Bank person. Whoever wins Money in the Bank, they can cash it in, and then that's, I don't know.
So you want his first loss to be a cheap loss? That makes more sense to you than him just keeping his undefeated streak?
I just think, I mean, we're saying the same thing. It's just, I guess, how it's done.
Yeah.
It needs to put, it's at the point now where it's going to create a star. So it just needs to be, yeah, I guess the difference is whether or not he has the IC title.
I don't know, man, because they kind of seem to be cooling off on Gunther a little bit.
He's still undefeated. Now, if he gets pinned,
just being undefeated doesn't mean anything if your presentation isn't what it needs to be.
as a matter of fact, he has the longest streak of being pinned, not being pinned right now.
Yeah, he's protected still. Yeah.
Roman Reigns got pinned. Cody Rhodes got pinned. So he's now the holder right now.
I don't know. They just seem to be cooling off on him a little bit. That worries me.
I just think there's so many other people right now that they can't push him to the mid. I'm sorry, they can't push him to the top because there's so many people right now. So seemingly Drew McIntyre is going to get his run. So now you can't.
But if you can't prioritize your best wrestler, I don't know. That means he's not a priority, and again, that worries me.
Well, he is, but he's not.
Triple H should wake up every morning and go, "What's next for Gunther?"
Yeah, he is a little bit further down than like pre CM Punk. Seems like that kind of threw a wrench in his whole
CM Punk or where he's at. There's a couple people coming back that kind of stole the spotlight. And McIntyre being McIntyre now. I don't know. Anyway, so not
let us know in the comments below who you think should pin Gunther. Who should get the streak in the 600-day reign, 900-day reign, 700-day reign, whatever it's going to be at.
My vote is Dante Chen.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
First Chinese-born superstar
Singapore.
Or whatever. They're all the same. Well, cut that out. I messed it up.
Well, Nakamura had a promo later, and he says that he'll give Sammy the spotlight he's looking for. And he'll keep Sammy as an underdog by dragging him to the bottom where he can bask in all the sympathy he wants. Then he tells Zayn anytime, anywhere, any place.
Yep, cool. Some more Sammy and Nakamura.
Yeah. I think Nakamura is just interested because that's the only person he can beat.
Well, they got a rematch already, so we'll see.
I skipped whatever Becky did. She looked retarded with that backwards hat, by the way.
It's probably better you skip that. So I'll tell you what happened. Becky comes out. So they do the paint by numbers thing where Becky comes out, cuts a promo, and then every other woman that's going to be in the Elimination Chamber comes out and speaks their whole piece. Theme music hits. It all sounded so overly scripted. If I could mark up a little bit. The only takeaway here is Tiffany Stratton got a big pop.
She's over.
Yeah, she is. And then the other thing, so after they all did their taking turns thing, Nia Jax literally squashed everybody. So everybody that was going to be participating in the Elimination Chamber, she squashed them
Oh, okay.
all 6 of them.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, okay. New Day had a promo. They were fighting Imperium, I think. Probably.
Yep, in a street fight.
Yeah. Cool.
Why is it always a street fight? Like, let's do something else.
Because it's lazy.
Like,
It's a way
let's
for
do
them
it.
to. It's a way for them to just do whatever, and they don't have to worry about the quote unquote rules that they never worry about anyway.
Well, that's fine, but you got other types of matches. Let's do a ladder match or something.
Well, then you'd have to set up ladders, and that'd be a whole thing.
Well, they're gonna do it anyway.
Well, no, they're going to drag ladders out from under the ring. That's different.
I guess it would be weird to have a ladder match with like nothing.
That too.
Like, what are you climbing the ladder for? Maybe a TLC. I haven't done one of those in a while.
Wasn't that the same premise as a ladder match, though?
No, it was a pinfall or submission.
Oh. Maybe just the video game, then.
No, they did have early they did have them with title matches, but then they just turned into
just regular matches with furniture.
Yeah, or they can do a tables match.
They could, but they decided on the tried and true street fight.
Yeah,
because it's lazy. Then we have Gunther versus Jey Uso. I don't know.
They also just cross promotion. They also showed some stupid bull rider. I wrote that down because I wanted to call him a stupid bull rider.
And I intentionally didn't write him down, so there we go.
Like, who watches? Anyway.
Why do bull riders look like that now? Remember growing up, bull riders were the dudes with the 5 o'clock shadow, and they were dirty. They were chewing like various plants. They had skull. They could beat the shit out of a bull. That guy can't. He ain't riding no bulls.
Well, he was also a kid.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. He was like 19 or something.
Yeah.
18, 19.
19-year-olds have 5 o'clock shadows. Back in my day. I don't know why the fuck Gunther's entrance was cut. Oh, I did write about the bull rider. I called him a fruitcake.
There we go.
And I don't know why the fuck Gunther came out first to a guy that never wins. And
why.
As far as the match goes, it was everything it should have been. Jay slapped Gunther, then Gunther beat the piss out of Jay. Then it got stupid. Gunther's undefeated. Jey Uso's won maybe 2-3 matches. One of those being like a tag team match since he came to Raw. Gunther beat Sheamus, Drew McIntyre in the same night, in the same match. Jey Uso barely beat Kaiser. So why the fuck does Gunther have to hit him with everything he has and fail? Not only that, why does Gunther need Jimmy Uso, another loser, to help him retain his fucking title? This is why WWE has to constantly rely on geriatric pieces of shit like The Rock, because their new stars, every time they build them up, they fucking ruin them with stupid shit like this. They don't know how to logically build people. And all this did was hurt Gunther and just to further a match between two losers.
Well, there you go. How do you really feel about it? I mean, I don't know what to say. We knew it was going to have to be a competitive match. Mainly because it was in the main event. I didn't take it too much as Gunther. He didn't need help. He just got help. Like, it was more so about Jimmy screwing over Jay.
Jay Uso hit the Uso splash, and he was going to get the pin, seemingly,
Nah,
but
Gunther would have got his. He
Jimmy
was ready.
rang the bell.
I know Gunther was ready. He was going to kick out 2.5.
Either way, the perception is that Jimmy helped Gunther retain his title. And Gunther does not need that.
And that's why you think they've
Roman.
soured on him?
Huh?
I said that's why you think they've soured on him?
They cut his
Because he got help?
entrance. They cut his entrance. He's out second.
Well,
Or he's out first. I'm sorry.
he had to come out second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He had to come out first.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, because we needed to.
You
get
can still
the-
do that stupid
It's the
fucking
main-
entrance.
He needed
And
to.
you can still cut to stupid ass McAfee doing the entrance too. You can still do all that stupid shit and appease the mouth breathers. That's
And then
fine.
the best part
But
of it.
your greatest champion should still come out second. Why are you dissing him like that? Why are you fucking? This is Gunther. This isn't some Shlomo. This isn't Dolph Ziggler. This isn't the 24/7 champion.
Dolph
This is the
Ziggler with
longest
that IC
reigning.
title was pretty goated.
What's that?
I said Dolph Ziggler with that IC title was pretty high tier.
Yeah, but he wasn't Gunther.
And I'm not talking about brown-haired Dolph Ziggler. That one.
I don't think anybody talks about brown-haired Ziggler.
He changed that so quick.
Yeah.
Like he changed it after a week.
But yeah, I don't know. All this did was put a chink in Gunther's armor, and he didn't need that.
I guess it's because it's getting close to the end of the reign. I do find concern that when he loses, what happens after?
Like, exactly.
Remember Umaga?
Yeah.
Once he lost his streak, that was pretty much. Well, there's a lot of people. Once they lose their streak, they're pretty much just like there.
Yeah.
Gunther's different because he is a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna need to improve on that charisma thing.
Yeah. Well, no, I like his dry delivery. He just needs to work on his mic work a little bit. I like the dry German. Like what everybody else is the joke, while he's the completely straight. It doesn't work for everybody, but because he's European, it works for me. Or it works for him, rather.
Yeah, like when everybody was doing the J thing and he was just standing there.
Yeah.
Just looking around like everybody's idiots. And then the funniest part of it all is he shot that look to McAfee and then McAfee stopped. And then he just held his hands up. Like, what are you doing?
But that was Raw. I wasn't too happy.
Well, we are setting our sights on Jimmy versus Jay. WrestleMania, probably night 1.
And what's the appeal of that match now?
Brother versus brother. That's
it.
That's it.
Okay.
Now, it should be noted, though, just a note from Raw. Wrestle votes before. Well, okay. So, and I want you to put this in the mindset going on for Raw. So before Raw, there was this thing. It's like, oh, there's some big things happening on Raw tonight. So everybody on the Twitter machine, they narrowed it down to 2 things. I should also point out for all of this, for some reason during Raw, all the TNA talent, they started posting like hourglasses. All of them did. And I think it was for the whole firing of Scott D'Amore thing.
Mm.
But They did that. The tweet comes out that big things are happening on Raw. So for some reason, people thought it was going to be one of two things: either Jey Uso's winning the title, or TNA is going to invade Raw. Especially when like the UFC thing happened, they're like, "Okay, it's happening. TNA is going to invade Raw." They didn't. So then the other thing's like, "Okay, that didn't happen. So Jey Uso must be winning the title." Neither of it happened, of course, but so
Well,
that was the mindset of going into that match. It's like, well, we didn't get the TNA thing. Now, of course, I didn't. You know, I'm a believe it when I see it kind of person.
allegedly they had Gunther slated or penciled in to lose.
Yes, and then that was going to be the other thing. So then
Oh, okay.
after the show, again they doubled down and said on the rundown sheets, um, yeah, Gunther was slated to, or Jey Uso was supposed to be the new champion.
Which, oh man, I don't know if I'd be here tonight if that was kidding me.
Yeah, lose it on a random
It makes no fucking
Raw.
logical sense. Just think about it. Look, okay, McIntyre, he just beat Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther beat him twice,
Yeah.
effortlessly. Well, the second one was more effort, but he still beat him. Jey Uso comes in, not having done anything. He's just been a mascot. And
Well,
no man.
he's like
And he's the one to beat Gunther.
he is third on the list right now for baby faces.
Okay,
You could even argue maybe he's second.
he could be first. That doesn't. He still shouldn't beat Gunther.
Well, I'm saying there's losing bad, and then there's losing. I don't know.
He
You're
loses
still
all the
over.
time. There's no good or bad losses. He loses all the time. And when he does win, it's against nobodies. And to have him penciled in to beat Gunther, that's what we were just talking about, how the win needs to mean something. How does it mean anything if this motherfucker who never wins anything just magically gets a pin over Gunther? Just because, again, because the spotlight shined on Jay that evening.
Yeah,
It makes
because
no
he's
logical fucking sense.
probably not, but
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you if you're holding on to those kind of chain of custodies, then
You mean logic?
yeah. Oh, he beat him, so he can't beat him.
It's not even that. The motherfucker doesn't win. And to have like one of his, like, you can count on one hand how many times he's won on Raw since he's been back, or since he switched over. One of those would be his win against Gunther.
And it would have been a big win for him.
It would have been no, it wouldn't have.
Now, does it hold? Does it put him into the next stratosphere?
No,
That would be the question. Actually, that would be a step down from where he is again because he's the third ranked babyface right now. Maybe a second. We'll see
in the
when
whole
Seth
company or
Rollins
just on Raw.
on Raw. Cody, Seth, and him. Now
I don't know.
that it does help because
Our Truth gets a bigger pop than he does.
no, just not even
Yeah, it
close.
does.
And
Our
we're
Truth,
counting the arm thing.
Our Truth gets a much bigger pop than Jey Uso.
No, he doesn't.
You don't get we want Jey Uso chance, but we do get it. We want Our Truth.
Well, he's about to be a champion too, which is gonna be
Yeah.
weird. Just imagine, they're doing all this to build up the tag titles, and you're gonna have R Truth being your flag bearer for the tag title.
Yep.
Not saying there's anything wrong with Truth. He's, I like him, but he is a comedy character. So
Yep.
what does that tell you about the titles if he's holding it?
Yeah, especially since last year, the Usos, who were the longest reigning title holders, were defending it against Sammy and Kevin Owens, who reunited after their bitter feud. And after weeks and weeks of teasing and buildup and pleading and tears and shit.
In the main event.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to get the Judgment Day versus the Awesome Truth. Can't wait to skip that.
Yeah, I don't know. And the little graphic thing, or the lower third thing, said when Truth came out, it said Truth has been, or he's the longest active talent in the WWE. He's been on the roster since 2000.
God damn.
Yeah. So
wasn't he in TNA for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, he's old.
Jesus.
Which always makes it funny because he always says his older, or when he was a kid and looked up to John Cena, but he's older than John Cena.
Yeah, apparently they're really good friends.
Well, he does his moveset, so.
Yeah. But yeah, that was Raw. Do your shills.
Raw. Oh, you actually paused for it this time. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. So if you want to help us out with that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're also on all the social medias: TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Spotify. Username is the same across all boards, so wherever you want to find us, we are there. Pretty good one.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Oh, and also hit the like button if you haven't done that already.
We good?
Yep.
All right. So we go to Salt Lake City, Utah for SmackDown. And LA Knight and McIntyre, they're in the building. So it's just like Raw. I wish there was like variety. Like just because you do something on one show doesn't mean you have to carry it on the other show. Like what happens if you open up one show one way and the other show a completely different way instead of just having like the fucking mirror image of the same shit?
I don't know. I guess this is their little thing.
All right. Tiffany Stratton beat Liv Morgan. Belair was ringside for no reason.
Yep, that's pretty much it there.
All right. McIntyre had an interview. He says he needs to win tonight, and he needs to win the chamber, and he needs to win the title, or his career will be as useless as CM Punk's return to the WWE. And then Lashley interrupts. He says he appreciates the memes Drew has been making, with the CM Punk injury and his mean streak. And he says it hasn't made him this happy since WrestleMania 37. You remember that, Drew? When I put you in the Hurt Lock and I beat you? And he starts laughing and just walks away. And McIntyre stews. After a very, 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 very sus vignette, the Rock is finally a match flow. So that's cool.
The vignette you're talking about was probably the I guess Ashante the Adonis and Cedric Alexander are teaming up now.
The two lovers in their hotel room. Yeah. I thought that was like a Holiday Inn commercial at first.
No, I guess they're teaming up now. I don't know. Maybe it'd be a good tag team. I don't know. And yeah, it was all about them picking out a outfit so that it can look like a tag team.
Yeah.
And this, but this does. Remember, we just said they're building up all these tag teams, and you're gonna have Truth being the flag bearer for the tag team division,
Didn't
and the
one of
Miz.
them? I'm sorry, God.
I just said in the Miz.
Didn't one of them like barge into Aldis's office and ask for more opportunities or some shit?
Yes, and I don't
Okay,
remember which one it was, but yeah, it was one of them.
so we're just
Yeah,
gonna
he was
kind of.
like, "Don't give up on me."
Oh, all right.
Well, this was the opportunity. You're gonna be a tag team.
You're gonna be the same spot you were before you came into my office.
Well, before he wasn't on TV at all.
Okay. The Bloodline are backstage. Jimmy's gloating about what he did to Jay on Raw. And all Roman wants to know is, who the hell sent Jimmy to Raw? And Jimmy says, Paul did. And Roman's like, you're just about to stooge Paul out like that? I called the play. It was me. I'm like, well, why the fuck did you ask then?
I took it as kind of a tease, I guess,
Okay.
teasing dissension, because if he said The Rock, then it was going to be a problem. So maybe there's a little Easter egg. Who called the play?
Okay.
That's what I took it as. But
Yeah, I
and
guess I could
then
see that.
even after that, I was watching Roman and it was like, I don't know,
Maybe
was he lying?
foreshadowing.
Was
Oh,
he
okay.
lying and just taking like, yeah, it was me. Of course it was me. But in the back of his mind, it's like, he called the play. I didn't call the play. Like, The Rock, you're already, giving orders. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, Jimmy tries to slap hands with Roman and he gets blown off. And then Paul interrupts to let us know that we're going to get a Bloodline Grayson Waller crossover. It's exciting. You know what? I can't wait. So the Theory, Waller, and Logan Paul, they're all in the back being sussier than the two dudes from the vignette earlier. Like they're just literally standing and like, bro, look at you. Bro, look at you. Bro, but where's my shirt? Bro, where's your shirt? Bro. And presumably they know how each other taste. And then Owens interrupts. He says that he hopes that Paul brings his brass knuckles. And then after Owens leaves, they ask. Paul did say a funny line. He asked, "Well, why didn't we jump Owens right then and there?" He's like, "Well, we can't do it now. He's gone. But why didn't we just jump him?"
Yeah.
But then Heyman finally fetches Waller for Roman. And then Roman, he wants to tell Waller something, but it's for his ears only. And we never fucking find out what it is. Spoiler alert, they don't address that in Elimination Chamber. At all.
They didn't. And even for some reason I watched the for some reason I watched the presser or whatever the hell it was before Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
And Grayson Waller said they asked him, what did Heyman tell you? He said, you'll have to find out on Elimination Chamber. And he never did it.
Those cunts. You know what they did?
What?
They made sure that we watched the stupid Waller effect.
Well, we're gonna
They
have to
tricked
watch it
us.
either way.
What's that?
I said we were gonna have to watch it either way.
No.
Well, maybe not you, but most the people who are into the whole Cody Rhodes, Rock, Roman, Seth stuff would have to watch it because it was obviously going to be some kind of story built in it.
Okay. Well, up next we get a new up and coming star within the World Wrestling Federation, Dante Chen. He faces Braun Breaker. Breaker came out and he was slapping hands with nobody, which made him look like a dumbass. And then he wins with a spear. Meh.
Well, I do like that they are embracing the Steiner lineage.
Yeah, that's cool.
They even called his clothesline a Steiner line. So
They
they're
did.
really leaning into the whole Steiner thing. And then his attire was pretty much like,
Like his dad's.
yeah, was
Yeah.
like early Steiner brothers. So yes, they are leaning into the whole Steiner thing. So that's good.
Visually, it was there. But then the match happened. I don't know. It just doesn't impress me.
Fair enough.
At least that okay. That particular match. Maybe it was Dante. Maybe Dante fucked up. Maybe the eye paint got in his eye, or the face paint got in his eye.
Poor Dante Chin.
Yeah.
It was his debut too. No.
That was sad.
Lasted a minute.
So Judgment Day had an interview, and Dunn Bate, they don't have a snowball's chance in hell winning the tag team titles. And then Dominic McTurd, they're going to handle them tonight. So the Priest and Balor only have to pick the bones. Or something like that. And of course, Bate and Dunn, they beat McTurd and Dominic. Priest and Balor, they came out and after the match and they got embarrassed. I don't know what the fuck Priest was thinking with that goddamn double choke thing. Where he grabbed them both by the throat and then they just started wailing on him.
Oh, I don't know.
It's dumb.
Didn't he do that during the Elimination Chamber though?
He may have.
I think he did.
Yeah, but they reversed it there too. They did stupid flippy shit.
Maybe they did.
Yeah, he went for a double choke slam and they did flips. Or at least Bate did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Anything else to add about Dante's debut?
No?
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Judgment Day.
I thought you were just going to go ahead and go past that. We're well past that. So the Authors of Pain, they beat the Street Profits. Cross attacked Lashley with a chair. McIntyre tells Bobby he'll pray for him later in the medical area. At least Scarlett was sexy.
Yeah. There wasn't too much to break down there, but yeah, whatever Scarlett was wearing was on point.
Yeah. You still high on Cross there?
I am.
Oh, okay. So Dakota Kai allegedly gets attacked in the backstage area. Bailey comes to console her, says she feels bad that the other girls are using her to get to Bailey. And then they're both going to make Damage Control pay because they're facing Kabuki Warriors next week. So that'll be fun.
Yes, Dakota Kai has returned.
And I'm on the fence
on whether or not she's turning.
Yeah.
It is setting up to her to screw Bailey.
Or they're doing the swerve where they're teasing that she's going to turn on Bailey. I don't know. There's a little bit of intrigue. Now, I did see that Shelton Benjamin was saying that we need to give Bailey her flowers for winning the Royal Rumble. And
that was the story. Oh, good segue.
Thank you. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what flowers should we give her? Like the Kabuki Warriors, they were just in a dark match at Elimination Chamber. Io was nowhere to be found. On
I don't know. I think
SmackDown or at Elimination Chamber, Io is not like even remotely booked the same way as Rhea Ripley.
well,
And I'm not saying that she has to be. I'm not saying that she's on Ripley's level. I'm just saying that as a champion, it's night and day.
I don't
Io's
know. She
just
hasn't been pinned.
she hasn't really has she wrestled?
No,
Okay then.
but she's waiting for
And the
this
Kabuki Warriors, they
WrestleMania
were in a
match.
dark match at a pay-per-view.
They
So
were.
I mean, if the person that we're supposed to be giving flowers to, if her opposition is that, what flowers are we supposed to give her?
Well, I guess he just means as a whole. Like we we should be. I don't know. They should be getting more time to build all this. Because yeah, they are getting like segments that they're getting like short segments. We didn't even see the attack, and then on Dakota Kai, and then what? That segment lasted what 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the just damage control forever has been treated like nothing but a joke. So it's not like Bailey left the crypts and she has to she has to fight them all by herself with a
well,
baseball bat.
I mean, they are all champions, and they haven't been pinned since they kicked Bailey or Bailey turned. Again, they haven't wrestled too much. The Kabuki Warriors have. They wrestled pretty much every week, but I don't know.
All right. Just my thoughts.
When's the last time EO has been pinned?
When's the last time Io has wrestled?
I don't know. She doesn't need to wrestle every week though.
She doesn't. But
She,
but you
she's a
can't tell me when the last time she's wrestled, so how the fuck am I going to tell you when she's been pinned?
didn't she wrestle? I think it was Bianca Belair the last time she wrestled.
That sounds about right.
I mean, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, she wrestled Bianca Belair and Charlotte and got manhandled.
but walked out as champion.
Okay.
Who's holding the strap? That's all you need to worry about.
No, what I'm worried about is how somebody's presented. And if you're going to present them like nothing, then I'm going to consider them as nothing.
Okay.
LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. And Logan Paul came out on commentary for no reason.
Same thing they did for the women's.
Yeah. This match ended in a DQ after Owens, who also came out for no reason, attacked McIntyre. And then everyone in the chamber match, they came out and just attacked each other. Lashley stands tall until McIntyre takes him out with a Claymore. Then Randy hits an RKO out of nowhere. So he stands tall. Is Randy going to win the Elimination Chamber match?
We shall see. I mean, overall, that SmackDown was pretty worthless. Like, outside of Braun Breaker debuting, it was a pretty missable show.
Well,
As a matter of fact, it was also taped.
Scarlett was there.
Oh yeah, and Scarlett and Dakota Kai, of course. But she was sitting on a table, so couldn't see anything.
Mm.
I might have to jump ship, by the way. I might, I might have to switch my allegiance there.
Allegiance to wait, what allegiance?
Or I might have to switch my simp. I don't know.
Oh, to who?
I don't know yet. I'm
Oh,
still on the market for. I'm still on the market for who I'm gonna thirst after.
okay. You've been thirsting after Dakota Kai?
Yeah, remember every week I say Dakota Kai was there.
You say that about all of them.
No,
Yeah,
there's some I don't.
you thirsty.
There's some I don't.
You're like you even go Piper Niven can get it.
Well, yeah, and just wait until the Nia Jax Rhea Ripley. Well, I don't think you watched the whole match. You know, Nia Jax did a stink face to Rhea Ripley. I was like, ooh, I want to be next. Tag me in.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the Elimination Chamber.
On that note,
Of course, we're in Perth, Australia. And it's starts off with the women's chamber match. And I noticed that Naomi's entrance is a lot less impressive when it's an outdoor arena and it's daylight.
yes.
I also noticed that she kind of looks stupid with the hair and the. She kind of looks. I don't see like champion.
Well, she did not stand out in this match, but
She stood out, just not for the good reasons.
her green hair is kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your natural hair color, Naomi?
Right. So Becky won with a rock bottom to Liv Morgan. And then Ripley and Lynch is confirmed for Mania later. And there was really nothing. I don't know.
I got some stuff.
Okay, cool.
Um. So yeah, the chamber. It was Naomi and Becky. They started. Tiffany Stratton. She came out. She got a big pop. Uh. Yeah, she was easily the most over. So again, going back to that, we want Liv Morgan. She wasn't even the most over in that match. As a matter of fact, when she being Liv Morgan, when she eliminated Tiffany Stratton, there was a chant of bullshit. So, do we really want Liv Morgan?
They also chanted her name during the men's match.
Tiffany Stratton?
Uh huh.
Did they?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Now, some people are chalking this up to, oh, it's just because they want someone new. There was a pocket of people upset that Becky won because it's always Becky. And if it wasn't going to be Becky, it was going to be Bianca. And it's always Bianca. So some people were just chalking it up as, oh, they're just chanting Tiffany because they want someone new. And then that could also, I guess, play into Liv Morgan. People wanting Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I don't know about Tiffany. I can get, especially because they at least she she proves that she can lift the other girls and do things with them, unlike Liv Morgan.
Yeah, she's former body. I think she's former bodybuilder, or she
Is she?
competed.
Yeah, she ain't bad.
So
I don't like the. I don't know about her gimmick,
well,
but that's more of a
glad
personal
thing.
preference.
Good thing you said that because I was also going to point out. No one else seems to have pointed this out, but they have changed her gimmick already.
Oh,
Well, okay, we got we got to go back in time here. When she came out on Monday, she had a different attire, and then they've changed her music. On Friday, since it was a recorded, since SmackDown was taped, they had her old music, old gimmick. Now, when she came out in Perth here, she had pink again, but the new music. So maybe they changed it again. Or now that I'm just saying it out loud, maybe she was wearing red because she was on Raw. But yeah, they're already tweaking her. Definitely, they def rebelled, as they say. They def rebelled her music.
I'm not
But,
a big fan of that whole Tiffy time shit.
well, it does. I can see it working because it gets a pop when it's Tiffy time. And I always pay attention to, like, with anybody's music, I always pay attention to, like, the first few chords because that, if you go back in, like, Attitude Era and stuff, the first few chords are, like, that tells you. One day we were gonna play a guess the theme song, and you play 3 seconds of the song, and you should probably get it. Like, you hear the gong, you know it's the Undertaker. You hear the shattered glass, you know it's the Stone Cold. You hear if you smell, then you know that's the Rock. Like, I don't know, it's just something in the Attitude Era. Like the first few chords, you hear it. Um, then that gets the fans into it because they know who's coming out. You hear that, "Arr!" Well, you don't know who that is because that could either be Razor Ramon or Mankind. Huh? The wrecking car, that could be either one of them.
No, there's two distinct.
Okay.
Because the razors is the
Nope. If I
yeah.
played it. Okay, we're gonna set it up. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play 3 seconds of those two, and then you're gonna have to tell me which one's which.
Okay,
Not right now.
do it now. No,
We can't
no,
set that up live.
sure you can.
I guarantee you can't tell them apart in like just the opening, not like when the music starts. Now you know, but like just the opening, you can.
But I could. I don't even know what's the name of the theme. Oh, there it is. Car crash.
Yeah, we'll have to set that up. But yeah,
Oh yeah, easily.
yeah, it's Tiffy time. It could be the start of something good for her there. Um,
Oh well, maybe not.
yeah, the car crash part sounds the same. It's right after that that is it goes into different.
I think it still do a pretty good job. Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, so she was a standout in the match. She had an elimination on Naomi after a sunset. So Naomi does a sunset bomb for some reason. Well, not for some reason. She does a sunset bomb, and then right after that, Tiffany Stratton rolled her up. So smart play on her there.
Yeah, I saw somebody, or I saw a little bit of outrage that Naomi was eliminated so quickly.
Yeah,
Why'd she return only to be eliminated first? Like, you knew, motherfucker, she wasn't gonna win it, so it doesn't matter.
and I'll tell you, yeah, and another thing, she wasn't gonna win it. She might not even be on WrestleMania because she just came back. Like, there's no real reason for her to be on WrestleMania after just a few weeks.
And spoiler alert, nobody gives a shit that she's back. She's back, and she's just another one of the girls.
Well, that was the thing. That's why she left because she was. Anyway.
Yeah, so hopefully she's at least making more money.
Well, post match, she did tweet out. I think she tweeted out that Tiffany Stratton's ass is hers. So I guess we're setting up something between them two.
Okay.
And Tiffany Stratton, she got eliminated by Liv Morgan. A second rope oblivion. Again, I got the bullshit chant. Raquel Rodriguez, she hits a double Tejana bomb and this was on Liv and Becky, and then Bianca Belair hit her with a KOD, and goodbye Raquel.
Yay.
Again, she wasn't really going to factor into anything. She wasn't going to win. So we're left with Becky, Liv, and Bianca. And I was saying, okay, so it could, there's 50-50. It's either Becky or Bianca. I never really counted Liv, even though that's what a lot of people were thinking. I was like, it depends on who gets eliminated next. Who's like, if Liv gets eliminated, then Bianca's gonna win.
Which is funny because Liv is the only one that, out of the three, that has like an issue with Ripley.
That's true.
Becky's just inserted.
Yeah, Becky just wants to wants Ripley because she wants Ripley.
Yeah, Becky
Where
had
Liv,
a few.
yeah,
Becky had a feud with Trish Stratus after WrestleMania, then held the NXT Women's Championship for a while, then didn't do shit, and now deserves a title shot over Liv Morgan, who was out because she was hurt by Rhea Ripley.
well, we have to take into account that it is WrestleMania. So we gotta put on WrestleMania matches at WrestleMania.
Why wouldn't Liv Morgan and Ripley not be the better match?
Because it's name value. Liv Morgan's name
If you
value.
actually tried to sell the match instead of just fucking relying on Becky. No.
Well, yeah, I mean they only have like 5 weeks to build it, so I don't know.
They have 40 days.
That was the number. I didn't want to get that wrong, so that's why I said 5 weeks or so.
I may get that wrong. I'm not afraid to be wrong.
Well, it was 40 days, and now we're down to 39. Man, 39 days. We're gonna have such a big. By the way, we're gonna have such a big WrestleMania show. Everybody who's listening, it's gonna be so big, so enlarged and girthy WrestleMania show. You just wait and see.
Oh yeah, like what do we have planned, Tyson?
It's gonna be a lot of girth.
Why don't
We'll
you
figure
give them a
that out
sneak
later.
peek on?
Just gonna have to tune in and find out. I mean, I don't want to give it away. It's just so big. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's just too much to give away. If I even like give a little bit, it just blows it all out of the water.
Why don't you
Yeah,
do the why don't you do the rundown for Chamber?
oh, okay.
Sounds like you actually took notes.
I didn't really, but that was pretty much it. Becky, she
Okay.
wins with a manhandle slam. I mean, I'll do it, but I didn't really.
Oh well, if you didn't
like
take
go
notes.
move by move. Becky, she wins with a manhandle slam. After Liv eliminated Bianca Belair with a roll up. So Becky is on her way to face whoever wins the main event. Spoiler alert. Nia and Rhea Ripley ended up being the main event here. Next up, we had the New Catch Republic versus Judgment Day. Didn't really write anything down here. It was
I wrote down Judgment Day 1.
That's what I wrote down too.
Okay.
It was a glorified SmackDown match. It was a good match. I'll give them that. But I saw it as a SmackDown match. At the end of the match, something happened with Balor's thumb. It looked like it was like dislocated or popped out of place or something.
Ooh.
So there was that, but he still hit the coup de grace and he got the win.
When I was breezing past it, I noticed that Priest fucked up He fucked up the spot where they he was supposed to get pushed into the corner and was supposed to nut Balor, but they didn't either.
Oh,
He either mistimed it or they didn't push him hard enough, so he kind of stopped, and then he fell. He looked at Balor too. Oh, it was really awkward looking.
funny thing is that wasn't the only time we saw that tonight. And one time the person got back up and still did the crotch spot. I forgot who it was, but it was in our to come retro part of the review. Someone was supposed to crotch and fell short and then got up and did it anyway. But yeah. Yeah, Judgment Day wins. They're on their collision course with R-Truth and The Miz. So that should be fun. Oh, and before the match, Dominic, he did the introductions and got booed out of the building. So still getting his heel heat.
That's important.
It is. Next up, we had the Grayson Waller effect. The Grayson Waller effect would include Tyson Theory and
Austin Theory.
golly, why do I always get his name wrong? Because he's a nobody. That's why.
I think you got somebody else, Tyson Chandler. It was Michael Chandler.
Golly, everybody's Tyson.
Yeah. Narcissist.
Yeah. So we got Theory out there. Now he runs down the crowd for some reason. Now I say for some reason because Waller's right there and they're supposed to be friends, but whatever. And then Seth Rollins comes out with his whoa. Oh, Cody Rhodes follows him, does his woes. I should point out that the entrance was so long that we got like deep into we got deep into both theme songs, so there was more woes than usual.
I also saw that there was a shit ton of fireworks for Cody.
There was. They did not skip on the fireworks for this show. Like
No.
Cody Rhodes got the fireworks all outside the building and everything. So yeah.
Just for a sit down interview.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
And yeah, his song like looped and then they did the woe part again. So that's what I was saying. The entrance trance was so long they overwoed, I guess. Basically the gist of this whole thing was Cody Rhodes, he teases that he's gonna talk about what The Rock told him and why he gave up his spot and then didn't give up his spot. He teased it and then he got interrupted, so he didn't actually say why. I know a lot of people were clamoring for that. They need that part of the story. Why did you say not at WrestleMania? But he teased that he was going to say it and then he didn't. Then he says that he wants to fight The Rock one-on-one. And he says he's got 40 days until WrestleMania, so anytime, anywhere, Rock. That being giving him the receipt for punching him in the mouth. So I don't know where else they can do it but WrestleMania Night 1. So
They could do it on a SmackDown.
if it's the tag match, they could definitely do it on a SmackDown. Because it is just a tag match.
You don't think they'd have The Rock on SmackDown on a one-on-one match? It's not going to end clean.
I don't think they do it on this. I mean, how many matches is The Rock gonna wrestle? So you're gonna waste it on a SmackDown? If they do the tag match, then yes.
Okay.
Um, if it's a one on one, then I mean it does make the most sense that Cody Rhodes wrestles the Rock Knight one, like maybe a one do the one on
What?
one, the Rock Knight one. Hold on, the Rock Knight one, Roman Knight two. You got Backlash right after that. Then you can do the tag match if they want. If the Rock is going to be around, if Roman wants to go all the way to France, all those things have to fall in play.
Why are you so hell bent on somebody working both nights in WrestleMania?
Because you have to get.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, I can tell you, I don't want to watch a match with commercial breaks, three of them, or two of them, or any of them.
That's just the entrances.
Yeah, that takes me out of the match.
But what I'm saying is, it's not going to end in like the Rock's not going to pin Cody. Or well, if he does pin Cody, it's going to be because of like a distraction. And Cody
Well,
ain't pinning the Rock. So I mean, it does. What does it matter if it's a pay per view or how many commercials? Like you know how it's going to end.
so you're dead set that the match is going to end not clean.
Yeah. Why would it?
Well, if Cody Rhodes pins the Rock clean, then that he takes that momentum into facing Roman. It makes it a bigger thing for him.
Or he loses to the Rock with the interference from the bloodline. Rock talks shit about how he can't win anything. That fucks with Cody's head going into WrestleMania. Cody's used to winning. He's done nothing but win. He's not
Yes,
used to going into anything with a losing streak.
which did concern me. And I say concern me because the Roman is retaining, or I'm sorry, Roman is retaining. I'm on that bandwagon right now. Again, uh, once I am presented with all the information, that might change. But as of right now, Roman is retaining, and Cody Rhodes losing to Drew McIntyre, first time being pinned since WrestleMania. But yeah, first time being pinned kind of worries me because is he gonna get pinned again at WrestleMania? Like, did that just was that his loss for the year?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We have to see how the bloodline main event nonsense pans out first.
So what I'm kind of seeing is you're gonna have Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That will be on night one for sure.
Right.
I'm thinking The Rock or the Bloodline, they're gonna screw over Rollins. He's gonna lose the title to Drew McIntyre. And they're also going to take him out. So then Cody's gonna have to go night two by himself when, Rollins has just been talking about I'm gonna be your shield. Um Cody Rhodes is gonna have that shield because Rollins gonna get taken out. This is one way of it going. And then yeah, Cody Rhodes is gonna have to go in by himself. Roman beats Cody with the bloodline help, and then again that leads to the tag match at Backlash. That's one thing. The other thing that's starting to float around is Rollins is going to screw Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Um, that's the other idea getting floating around, or I'm sorry, getting floated around. And then, yeah, the obvious last choice is not like in this order. I'm just saying the last option that's available right now is Cody Rhodes wins.
I kind of think that The Rock is going to turn on Roman.
Oh yeah, that's option number 4. Oh, we're gonna have to write it down for a poll. Which which way do you see this going? Uh, my only thing with that was, you just started this bloodline thing. Why would you turn it? Why would you get rid of it so quick?
because they got to it so quick. This isn't where they wanted to go originally. They want Rock and Roman.
That's true, but you can slow build this to WrestleMania 41. I tell you right now, if the Rock and Roman put out a Bloodline shirt, I'm gonna buy it. Using our affiliate link, by the way.
That's great, but can you plan the Rock that far out? What if he gets like a DC movie or,
Yeah, he would have to. He would have to be around. That is the thing.
Yeah.
See, you guys just ruined it. He was here. He was available. He was ready, and then you're gone and ruined it. Now maybe next year he's not going to be around. He's going to get some major AAA movie, and he's not going to be able to do it. And then we're never going to see Rock and Roman.
That way, if Rock does screw over Roman, at least, I mean, maybe they can book something for SummerSlam or something.
Yeah. We had it at WrestleMania. Now we're going to have to do it at SummerSlam.
Oh,
Gosh, you guys ruin everything.
The Rock can pull a muscle at a later pay-per-view.
Now hope they get Liv Morgan too. Put her in there. Mess up everything.
Well, joke's on you there. I don't watch those. That does nothing.
Speaking of Liv Morgan, this has nothing to do with this segment. Oh, let me do this. We'll finish this segment out, and then I'm going to get to the Liv Morgan thing. This is speculation, by the way. It's nothing is confirmed, but I want to bring something up. Anyway, so yeah, Cody Rhodes, he challenges The Rock to a one-on-one match. Seth Rollins, he says, "You don't have to do this alone. I'm with you." So he's still offering the support for Cody Rhodes, and that is. Oh, by the way, Rollins, he also said that he is a week away from being medically cleared, or days away, something like that. So
just days away.
He is for sure going to make WrestleMania.
Well, that was never in question.
True. And he did a curb stomp, so I'm sure he's already cleared. Or else why would he be doing curb stomps?
That's true. Well,
now what led us to that curb stomp? For some reason, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they inject themselves back into the segment because, oh, by the way, it's their segment. Grayson Waller, he says, acknowledge our tribal chief. And then Austin Theory, he grabs the mic and he starts doing The Rock's catchphrases for some reason. He does, "If you smell what Austin Theory is cooking," and he gets attacked by Cody Rhodes. We get a Cody cutter. Seth Rollins does a stomp, and that's pretty much how the segment ends. Again, why was he why was he doing The Rock's catchphrases?
This whole thing was just pointless.
Oh, there was one funny part of it though. So when Cody Rhodes, remember I mentioned that the entrance ramp was extremely long.
Mm-hmm.
So as Cody Rhodes is coming down doing his entrance, Austin Theory is in the corner and he's just counting his abs. I don't know. It was weird, but it was funny. But why was this segment weird for you?
Oh, Theory was there for no reason. Like he stuck out like an orange hat with a yellow bill. Rollins just seems forced into the. It seems like he's the guy that just follows the group of cool kids. Like he has no stake in this at all, other than, oh, I used to be a member of the Shield. And,
Well, we did go in depth that his involvement doesn't really make sense.
yeah,
And oh, shouldn't he be worried about McIntyre?
that I was just gonna say, like, you have the Scottish psychopath wanting to take you out and be the real champion, and you're fucking inserting yourself into this shit. There's too many people as it is. Why does Seth Rollins have to be in this? Um, I don't know what they're doing with Waller in Theory. Like, are they splitting them up now?
They could be, um, which would, I guess, make Grayson Waller turning face.
But he's working for the Bloodline.
But we don't know in what capacity.
He's working for the Bloodline until he fucking says what Roman told him was for his ears only.
Yes. And yeah, by the way, Grayson Waller, he didn't, while they were double teaming Austin Theory, he didn't
Yeah, he just kind of
do
sat back and
anything.
let it happen, which again was weird. And then, yeah, Austin Theory doing the Rock's catchphrases for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it was pretty much out of place, I would say.
And then the fucking sunglasses that Rollins had.
Oh, his Prince sunglasses?
Well, he's not Prince. Not even close.
I don't know. They kind of dress the same.
Maybe a little close.
But yeah, he doesn't have Purple Rain under his belt. You got to get one of those if you want to dress like that.
Right. Well, and they also made absolutely no mention of the Roman conversation at all. Like, what is Grayson Waller's role or whatever? Like, I thought the Bloodline was going to jump Cody and Rollins, and Waller was going to like somehow facilitate it.
Well, he was kind of, I don't know. He was kind of working face and heel.
Well, it's because he was in Australia.
Yeah. Oh, and he did a shoey with some dude.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy
Oh,
was.
but
So that's why I didn't call it out.
the way he said his name, blah 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 blah. You'd think that he was an international superstar.
Yeah, I guess he's some UFC fighter.
Oh, I thought he was a soccer player.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
There you go.
Might be both.
It could be both. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty much that segment. And The Rock has already been advertised for this week's SmackDown. So the saga continues.
Oh, there's a big old Rocky sucks chant, which now it just seems like it's part of their amusement now, as opposed to like passion.
Yeah. But there was also a Cody sucks chant.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
No.
Still being 50-50. Like after Waller said, how does it feel being so selfish to take away the Rock and Roman? And then, yeah, there was a Cody sucks chant.
I did like when Cody asked Australia what they wanted to talk about. Waller's like, no one cares, mate. This is my show.
Is what I want to talk about. Well, yeah, we'll see where this saga goes. I'm actually excited for SmackDown because I'm into all this.
Grandpa Dwayne's gonna be there.
But it does, yeah, he is. And it does beg the question, though. Because Cody, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he said something and then it just doesn't make sense. But, he said one-on-one before WrestleMania. So when are we supposed to be getting that? Is that, I guess that boils down to the whole thing.
I would, like I said, I would assume it would be a SmackDown.
Well, I guess free is free. Next up, we got the men's elimination chamber. Participants. Well, the participants. We start out with LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. Next up is KO, uh, Kevin Owens. Next up is Bobby Lashley. Then Randy Orton and Logan Paul was the last person out of the chamber. There was a spot that I do want to point out. So LA Knight, him and Drew McIntyre, when they start the match, they go over to Kevin Owens' pod, and LA Knight starts to hit Drew McIntyre on the pod, and inside the pod, Kevin Owens is like hitting the pod from the inside. So it was something I've never seen before.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah. So on the outside, you have LA Knight hitting Drew McIntyre's head against the pod, and then on the inside, you have Kevin Owens forearming that spot. um. So yeah, that was that. Our eliminations, we got Drew McIntyre. He eliminates Lashley with a Claymore. There was a Bobby Lashley, he gets eliminated. He starts to sell arm injury
The carrying cross hurt.
that, yeah, Karen Cross hurt on SmackDown. Because of this, the chamber door was left open because they had to get referees in there to help Bobby Lashley. And in comes AJ Styles with a chair. AJ Styles, he beats the shit out of LA
Boy,
Knight.
did he.
And yes, and then Drew McIntyre gets the pin on LA Knight. So we've set up, seemingly, and if you've listened to our show, we basically told you this was going to happen. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Now, for a full disclaimer, we also did say Jade Cargill was going to be in the Elimination Chamber, so we're not always right, but we are right also. Just want to call out that we do miss sometimes, but
Yeah.
we also get them too. But yeah, AJ Styles destroyed LA Knight, so we got that building. KO, he gets eliminated by Randy Orton, RKO. Logan Paul also gets eliminated by Randy Orton with an RKO. It was I don't know, it was a moment where Logan Paul, he was setting up with his brass knuckles. He was like doing the Roman Reigns kind of, I don't know, he was pumping, he was really playing it up. And then he gets RKO'd and then gets eliminated. So we are down to Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre.
Not surprising at
Randy
all.
Orton, yeah, basically our two picks. So Randy Orton, earlier in the match, he did his vintage Randy Orton DDT, the draping DDT, but he did it on the outside of the Elimination Chamber, like on the grate area. Well, it's not a grate anymore, but where it used to be the grate. So pretty much during the whole match, he was selling a back injury. He didn't know if it was real or not. I didn't see anything afterwards, so I assumed it was him playing it up as being a 20-year professional.
Yeah, especially since the commentators were talking about how he could barely stand and shit.
Yeah. So we're down to him and Drew McIntyre. He can barely stand because he's selling the back injury. Drew McIntyre is just like standing there all stoically. Randy Orton, he's trying to crawl up. He's like holding on to his knee pads. He's holding on to his tights. He's crawling and trying to fight back to his feet. Drew McIntyre, he's like showing a little bit of remorse, and then bam, out of nowhere, RKO. And he drops Drew McIntyre. Now, before he goes for the pin, he turns around, and Logan Paul, who has not gotten out of the ring yet, hits Randy Orton with the brass knuckles.
Clocks him.
Yes, costing Randy Orton, and then Drew McIntyre gets the pin. He wins the Elimination Chamber. He will now go on to face um, Seth Rollins, and Randy Orton seemingly now is in a thing with Logan Paul. But Kevin Owens is also not done with Logan Paul. So Logan Paul's just creating enemies.
Well, on night 1 of WrestleMania, Logan Paul can wrestle Kevin Owens, and then night 2, he can wrestle the other guy, Randy Orton.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Beats them both.
Yeah, just beat them both.
Yeah, that would be good. They could also do a triple threat match. That's also an option.
They could do that. But then that just makes it a guarantee that I won't watch it.
Well, that way, I don't know. That way, I guess you're getting Logan Paul out of it without having to pin Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. I mean, I guess Kevin Owens would be taking the pin in this scenario. Another idea I saw floating around, which I think it's people, honestly, I think it's just people trying to not be wrong. So you mix in AJ Styles and LA Knight into that and just do like a lighter match for the US title with all those guys. So Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, LA Knight. All of them vying for the United States title. Doesn't that sound like someone who's just trying to not be wrong?
Just a bit.
Oh, and a ladder match too. Like, pretty much take the Money in the Bank concept and do it instead of the Money in the Bank. So yeah, that's just people trying not to be wrong. But yeah, seemingly they were gonna get a. My guess would be a triple threat match: Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and then yeah, LA Knight versus AJ Styles 1-on-1.
It'll be interesting to see what AJ and Knight can do. I'm not excited about the triple threat match if that's where they do go.
If they do, it's just to have Paul keep the title, so that he doesn't have to, because he's not pinning Randy Orton.
Right.
So the only other option would be,
well, if he pins him, it'd be because of the brass knuckles.
Yeah, but Randy Orton, I don't know. He lost the Elimination Chamber. He lost Royal Rumble. He's losing too many big matches.
Yeah, it's true.
But also, Randy Orton going for the U.S. title is kind of a miss for me. They did mention on commentary that he's like one win behind Cena and Ric Flair's record for the world title reigns.
Really?
Yeah. So I'd like to see him at least tie that, and maybe he would even be the one to break it.
Well, then Cena couldn't be called the greatest of all time anymore, could he?
I don't think it was because he's tied with Flair. I just think it's because of what he did when he was here.
I think it helps. And what did he do when he was here?
Cena?
Yeah, he tied Ric Flair's record.
Who's also the Hogan of that era.
So is Ric Flair.
Ric Flair was never a Hogan.
Dude.
He was never a. I mean, maybe in like NWA,
Yeah.
but not in like WWE or anything.
But he was.
As a matter of fact, and I think he was kind of underutilized in WWE. I only remember him like winning. He won that '93 Royal Rumble, was it? Where the title was on the line,
Didn't
or I'm sorry, the title was vacated.
didn't he have a title run?
He did, but it wasn't a Hogan esque type deal. I would put him more of he was just like the champion because he was Ric Flair.
Mm.
Like I don't know. He didn't. I don't see that he did too much in WWF. He did most of his stuff in WCW and NWA.
Yeah. He was definitely a Crockett guy.
But yeah, I guess that's where we're going. Those are all the stories coming out of Elimination Chamber for the men, and then you have Bobby Lashley. He's got his thing with Karrion Kross still. So everybody's got a direction coming out of Elimination Chamber.
At least there's that. They didn't just have him meander. I will say I didn't like the overhead elimination chamber shots. I found it to be very clunky and disorienting.
I didn't pay too close attention to him. I did not like the shadow thing, but that's just nature.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, it's just because of how they had it set up. There was like, yeah, nature was creating shadows
Mhm.
because the sun was setting. It was kind of trippy that the sun was setting on my TV, watching this live thing, but on my where I was watching, the sun was rising. Like it was,
Different.
it's just weird that there's so far time difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, after the men's elimination match, we had Triple H. He came out there seemingly to waste time and announced that there was a attendance of 52,590. So there was that, and then there's fireworks for that. Worth pointing out. And then we go to and that was all he was there for, by the way.
Of course.
And then we go to our main event. Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. Now, truth be told, I did fall asleep. But I woke up and I watched the replay.
Oh, good.
So I did watch the match.
No, all right.
But yeah, I hung on until the main event. I didn't even see the entrances. That's how fast I fell asleep. They were playing some like commercial, and then yeah, I was out. But yeah, so we get Nia Jax's entrance. She gets heavily booed. We get that little pause, and then Rhea Ripley's music hits. The place erupts, and the match wise, I would say it was pretty good match for Nia Jax. Um, there was a couple good spots, a couple like there was a second rope suplex that was pretty good. Uh, Nia Jax did like a Samoan drop. What Rhea Ripley was wearing was very revealing, so the cheeks were out.
Which was kind of
And boy
funny because
was
she was in front of her family.
yes,
It's like she did porn.
and yeah, and she was getting stretched, and like
Uh-huh.
all the angles were. I don't know. I almost had to pause it and go research what that garment was made out of. or something.
research a couple times.
Yeah, I was like, I can't make it. Yeah, this was a good showing for Nia Jax. It's probably one of her better showings. I'm thinking outside of like probably her second best showing, behind the Becky Lynch match, I would say. So yeah, I guess since her return, she's been doing some pretty good work. And then I mentioned that there was that second rope suplex. That was towards the end of the match. Nia Jax controlled most of it. We got a rally from Rhea Ripley. She did the suplex and then into a riptide. The place went crazy when she hit the riptide, and then she got her pin. And then we got more fireworks than the 4th of July as Rhea Ripley celebrated with her family and
Her country.
in her country. And yes, she did it for Australia. Even though Nia Jax was born there, she said that herself. And that's pretty much the main event there.
All right.
You have anything to add to it?
I thought the riptide was ugly, and I just kind of had to laugh because they built all that for that. But aside from that, no, I don't have anything to add.
Well, I think given, you know, who she was riptiding, it was pretty well done.
Yeah, but you think like all this time she's had to prepare for Nia, she could have been, practicing on a medicine ball or something.
It was more so the landing because she did get her up.
Yeah, something looked off. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say it was more so the landing.
Okay.
But yeah, the place erupted when she did it, and yeah, like I said, there's the takeaway from really this match is if you go on Twitter or anywhere and look for anything about this match, you're just going to see a lot of Rhea Ripley cheeks.
Which ain't a bad thing.
Yeah, a lot of memes about her getting stretched out and her cheeks, and I don't know, they do this weird thing where it's like, oh, they went with the white ropes this time, and then yeah, it's just like a ass shot. They're trying to be coy about it.
So they're virgins.
Yeah.
I can't. It's a girl.
I did see Russo, and clearly, I'm sure he was just trying to troll or something.
Was he the one saying, "No, we need to push it, then they'll change"?
No, he was talking about, oh, why is Rhea Ripley your heel? This is what's wrong with wrestling today because your heel's getting this babyface reaction. It's like, well, she was babyface.
She was also
especially on this night.
Yeah. Throw that out the window.
Yes. And then one thing is people were, or I wouldn't say people, I was surprised that Becky Lynch didn't come out for like some kind of face off at the end, but it also kind of makes sense because they just wanted Rhea Ripley to have her moment.
Right.
It will be interesting to see if who's the heel and face, or not even that, who gets the cheers. I'm going to suspect that Rhea Ripley is going to be more over than Becky Lynch.
Well, they haven't given us a reason to cheer harder for Becky Lynch.
That's true. So maybe Rhea Ripley is going to have to do something to actually be the heel.
I mean, she'll try. She's kind of been doing that all year, and she still gets cheered.
True. So yeah, definitely be interesting to see. And I'll go ahead and put my early prediction. Again, this may change once I'm presented with all the information, but right now I say Rhea Ripley wins at WrestleMania.
Okay. I don't care. I don't think I care.
Fair enough. So I accidentally clicked on
Because I mean,
Twitter.
well, let me just because Ripley's just gonna hold on to it, and then if Becky wins, she'll just lose it to whoever she faces at the next pay per view.
Well, I think Ripley's going to hold on to it. If I'm being honest, what I see, this is like going way down the line. And again, this can change because I don't have all the information, all the pieces. Right now, I see Tiffany Stratton winning the
There
Money
it
in the
is.
Bank. Yep. Tiffany Stratton, she's going to win Money in the Bank, and then she's gonna cash it in on Rhea Ripley, and then become the new champion. So
I guess
by the end of the year, she'll be a champion.
we'll just have to see if that happens.
You respecting that?
What's that?
I said, you respecting that?
No,
Oh, good.
but I mean, I don't have an alternative, so I can live with it. It's probably the best I can do for you.
Yeah, I mean, right now she's the clear cut front runner. Either her or Liv Morgan.
What about Jade?
Uh, I don't know if she'll be ready by then.
Okay.
Uh, like for, I mean, okay. Let me take that back. I think she'll be on TV by then. I think she like debuts either soon or the Raw after Mania. But I don't think that they should be putting her in positions where she can lose.
What about Naomi?
She could win it.
Yeah.
But Tiffany Stratton's your clear cut winner here.
Okay.
She's the one so
All
far.
right. We'll see if that happens.
Judging this off of 2 matches, by the
I know you are.
way. I'm judging this off of the reaction of people. But the only other person that's getting these reactions is Liv Morgan, because they think they're doing something with the "We Want Liv" hashtag or whatever it is.
Well,
They think they're changing again. If we gave you Cody, now shut up. And they're still going at it. Keep it going, guys. We're over 5,000 tweets. We're trending. Let's keep this going. We'll trend overnight.
all right. Well, while we get prepared for the Wrestling Rewind, just give me a minute. I got to step away for a sec.
No problem. And I'll keep talking because that's what I can do. So overall, Money in the Bank was probably, if I'm being honest, I was jaded for Money in the Bank because, you know, it was 4 in the morning for me when the show started. So I couldn't get over I'm up at 4 in the morning watching wrestling. Let me know if you watched it live. If you did, let me know what time it came on in your area. Um, but yeah, I couldn't get over it being 4 in the morning, so I was probably jaded. Um, Overall, I would say they were both good matches. I don't know which one I would prefer over the other. Neither one of them really used the elimination chamber like it was an elimination chamber. So I don't know. It's a coin toss on which match was better. I guess if you're a Tiffany Stratton fan, you would say the women's. Um, the men's had more surprises in it, being that they set up all the stories. Uh, Logan Paul hitting Randy Orton, didn't see that coming. So there was that. Also, we never mentioned on the pre-show, you had the Kabuki Warriors. They beat Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. So
I
they
actually
did
thought
give.
that was the start of the pay per view, so I actually fucking sort of watched that.
Oh, yeah. So they were giving Indy some shine since they were in Australia and that's her home, whatever country. But you never thought the Kabuki Warriors would lose, and it
Right.
was just a glorified Raw match. But yeah, now that you're back, that was it.
Cool.
Done rambling.
We're on to our wrestling rewind. And this week is Halloween Havoc 1996. Starts off with a video package, and we see that the NWO is still fucking shit up, especially Macho Man's life. And Bischoff says it's going on far too long, but it's got to stop. And the Macho Man, he screams at Elizabeth in one clip, showing how high tensions have become. So we go to Las Vegas, Nevada. Dusty, Shivani, Heenan open on commentary. Shivani says that they've been in these events many times before, but tonight's world title match is the most important ever. Kind of like it was last pay-per-view.
Yep,
And
I
the
was gonna say
pay-per-view
they just
before
said
that.
that.
And the pay-per-view before that. Dusty says that people in the desert are heading for a fight. And tonight's the night WCW is stepping up to bat. And Heenan says that Savage is taking it to a new level. He's lost his money, his woman, and he's lost his mind. And starting off with our matches is Mr. Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio Jr. It's for the Cruiserweight title. Malenko started off at 100 miles an hour, so I'm not sure why he paused in the middle of whooping Ray's ass to admire the mask he apparently stole from Ray. It's kind of off character for him. So Ray, of course, gets his mask back. Then he takes the time to change the mask he was wearing for the one that Malenko stole. And I guess it was the mask that Ray wore when he won the title, so he wanted to defend it while wearing the same mask.
Well, they were saying he's more comfortable in that mask because he won the title in that mask. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly what I just said.
You said okay.
Run the tape back.
You said it. Never mind. I don't want to muddy this.
All right.
But I will say it was impressive that Ray managed to switch mask without revealing his face.
So we saw, I mean, he was facing away from the hard camera. We don't know what the actual fan saw.
Well, he's bent down too.
Yeah. They got to seen something.
I have this trick where I can take my undershirt or I can put a shirt on and then take the undershirt off. It'll remind me of that. When you're overweight, you gotta you gotta have ways of taking shirts off without revealing your body.
I was thinking more like how chicks do with their bras.
Oh, yeah, that too. Scratch the overweight thing. We'll find out soon enough.
Malenko proceeds to beat the fuck out of Ray and put him in various submission holds. The highlight was when Ray screamed, "Ah, my back!" And Ray eventually fights back, and it's almost like the match officially started. And Malenko kicked out of Ray's Frankensteiner rolling pin thing, which was a big deal because nobody, aside from who the fuck did, maybe it was Malenko. Aside from Malenko, um, like in his first match, nobody's ever kicked out of that. So, like I said, big deal. And Malenko wins with a power bomb off the top rope. And I wrote down it's going to be really hard to beat this one.
Yeah, it was a pretty damn good match. They were like, I was just thinking, like, man, they're like wrestling at 1,000 miles an hour and not
Yeah,
messing up.
and it wasn't that they were moving fast; it's that they were hitting the moves fast.
Yeah, so fluid.
It was great.
But that's what you get out of them too.
Yeah, that was a gold standard as far as cruiserweight matches go.
Yeah.
So after that, they kick it to Tony the Tiger. And we learned that the Giant was supposed to square off against the, Ric Flair was supposed to square off against the Giant, but the NWO took him out. But one man stepped up in Flair's place, and that man is JEFFJARRET. Jarrett says the NWO has impressed them, especially with their monster trucks. Or hasn't impressed them. Jarrett says the NWO hasn't impressed him, especially with their monster trucks. And then Tony reminds Jeff of the choke slam. Jarrett says Giant ain't choke slamming him. Then Ric Flair shows up to say he's there to support Jarrett and fuck all the women that will want to line up to meet Jarrett later. And as much as he despises Macho Man, Savage is going to walk down the aisle, style and profile, then take the Hulkster and the NWO all night long. Woo! Which that could mean so many things. And yes, Jarrett was especially annoying in this time period because he showed up on Nitro and then he just all of a sudden just started, I can be the leader. I'm the leader that WCW needs. He was one of those. So it was really obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that, but the way they were booking him, he wasn't the leader at all. So he was the guy that was just saying some shit and everybody ignored.
Yeah, I was telling you before the show. I don't even remember him being in WCW at all.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Obviously, they teased him being the little Nate.
Yeah, they were basically saying he's a Nature Boy copy. Like they were having Nature Boy was telling him to do the strut, and
Yeah,
he got the long blonde hair. He's doing the figure four. I mean, I guess he was Nature Boy.
Well, up next is DDP versus Eddie Guerrero. So Eddie won DDP's Lord of the Ring thing from Fall Brawl, and I guess DDP just stole it back and then claimed he couldn't find it when they demanded it back. So I thought that was the end of the Ring story. But no, it's just like the Lord of the Rings. It just keeps coming back. Nick Patrick's also in a neck brace, and they don't explain why, but they're disgusted that it takes Patrick so long to count a pin because his neck's fucked up.
And it was from this point that the rest of the pay per view was centered around Nick Patrick's, by the way.
Yeah. That was the drawback with his storyline. It's like, okay, we are focusing on a referee here.
Yeah. Like, why is he the most over person in
Right.
most of the matches?
So I try to look up why he was wearing the neck brace, and I guess Savage attacked him for being a crooked referee.
Yeah, I remember he got attacked. I don't remember who attacked him, but I remember he got attacked by someone.
Well, according to
'Cause he
what I
screwed
found, it was
someone over.
Savage. And then Patrick threatened to sue WCW unless they let him keep officiating.
Yep.
So back to the match, TDP tosses Eddie in the air, and Tony keeps saying it was a nosedive. Like so many times, Dusty was like, "Oh, okay, Tony. It was a nosedive. We get it." Just funny. And then DDP did another move, and Dusty was like, "Was that a nosedive too, Tony?" There's a great spot where Nick Patrick shoved DDP to the ground. Like, I love the spot where the ref like reasserts his authority when the heel like does heel shit.
Yeah, he did that, and then but he was also still. I would say he was helping DDP. It was kind of confusing.
How's that?
I mean, you could say he was counting slow for Eddie,
Or
maybe he wasn't. But
I felt like he was counting slow for both of them.
Okay.
But honestly, I wasn't really paying attention because they weren't in the NWO, so I didn't see any reason for them to care one way or the other who won.
It's true. But I think, was this the match? I think this was the match where they actually called it out. It's like, let's count together and see how, like, he's counting slow. And then they did, like, the count on commentary.
No, that was the 6 match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one was egregious.
Yeah.
So DDP wins by leisurely hitting Guerrero with a diamond cutter. Shivani tried to say that Eddie blocked the impact or some shit, like right when Patrick counted to 3. So that kind of foiled that theory. And then Patrick just immediately goes to the corner, picks up DDP's Lord of the Ring thing, and hands it to him. So I guess only Diamond Dallas Page and Nick Patrick were the only 2 people in the whole world that knew where it was.
Well, but I thought it definitely looked like, because he went in his pocket right after the match. It looked like Patrick took the ring out of his pocket and put it on the in the corner so that DDP can get it.
Well, that's
and then that's why I thought he was also counting slow for Eddie, because he was helping DDP because he gave him the ring. I don't know.
Oh, I thought Patrick grabbed it from the corner.
Well, for what I saw, yeah, he
grabbed it from the corner and then
something
handed
out
it
of his
to.
pocket.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
And then he points to it and then gets it. Like he taps him on the shoulder and says, "Your ring's right there," kind of, and then gets it. And then DDP's celebrating with it, because I don't know. Maybe I missaw it, but I think that's
maybe not. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he took it to begin with.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. DDP's the Lord of the Ring again.
Yay. What that leads to, we still don't know.
Nothing.
A title shot that never comes.
I think we're past that. He's already lost it and regained it.
Yeah.
Mike Tenay talks to Randy Savage. And Savage says that he has an important match against Hogan later. But first, he has to announce the winner of a Slim Jim Monster Truck contest. The fate of the fate of the company is in the balance, but we gotta give away this monster truck. Savage says that he only asked that the winner run over Hulk Hogan with the monster truck after he or she is announced. And Savage snaps into the names, and Joan McChallick from Michigan is the winner. And Savage wants Joan to take him out on a date, and he's breaking Hogan in half. Could have done without that, I think.
Well, I guess what they were doing, that pay per view was clearly sponsored by Slim Jim, so they wanted to give the thing away.
No.
But
I really didn't.
I had a hard time hearing what Savage was saying
Yeah.
in this promo because he kept like going down, and then he would raise his voice again, and then he would go down, and it kept happening.
Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be all political and or diplomatic in a political environment or something like that.
Yeah, but that was just Savage being Savage.
Yep.
But yeah, we gave away that thing. Sure, it was back in the time that it happened. I'm sure it was quite the thing. And they were pimping out the WCW. Shows you how dated this is. We are on the internet or the World Wide Web. They didn't even call it the internet.
Just that www.
And then something about CompuServe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there, yeah. And you see the address there. If you type in www.wcw.com
://
Yeah. It was just way back time. But there was two things that stuck out. One, they said, we're living in the information age now. And look where we are now.
Right.
And then two, they pimped that there was like a radio, or I'm sorry, audio only version of the pay-per-view. I never knew about that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. I never did that.
I was like, you mean I could have been listening like ham radio?
I read like I quote unquote read the dirt sheets. Which was really just, people's dumbass opinions on the internet.
Which is how times have changed.
Right. And Nitro, and every now and then I catch a pay-per-view. They're just so expensive.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I had no idea.
Free.
Well, they said it was free.
Eh.
Now, back then the internet wasn't free.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess it is not. No. Back then the internet was free. Now it's not free. But back then it was free because all you had to do was keep getting those little AOL things.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I'm almost out of internet. I better go get another AOL thing.
It was dial-up,
anybody
wasn't
ever...
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how dial-up was billed.
Well, I wonder how many people actually paid for the AOL service.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Let us know in the comments if you actually paid for AOL. Or, well, yeah, our demographic would have been around then, so let us know in the comments.
Mike Tenay interviews the new Cruiserweight champion. And Malenko said months ago that he was going to maintain his focus and reclaim the championship, or maintain his focus and reclaim the Cruiserweight championship. If anyone in the division wants a shot at the king, all they have to do is get in line. Because no one's taking the title away from him. It's a pretty straightforward promo.
Sure was.
DiBiase and the Giant are in the stands. And Giant's the U.S. champion now. And they said the Giant didn't win it in the ring. So I have him just like snatching it from Ric Flair. and just walking away. Or Ric Flair just looks confused.
Yeah, he's just walking around with it.
And DiBiase says that Jarrett was offered a spot with the NWO, but he refused like an idiot. DiBiase calls Jarrett a fool for taking Flair's place. And DiBiase reminds Giant that Jarrett told the NWO to stick it. Giant says, that's great advice from Jarrett, because I'm going to stick you to the wall. I'm going to stick you to the floor. I'm going to stick you to the ceiling. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to chokeslam you right in the middle. When it's all said and done, Jarrett and the Horsemen, I'm going to take you to the glue factory. So we get the Giant versus Jeff Jarrett. And this turns out to be a non-title match. Because I guess the Giant isn't the legitimate title holder, so he can't defend it.
Yep.
Although Patrick holds the U.S. title up and Shivani loses his shit. And Heenan's like, well, if the Giant told you to hold up the belt, you'd do it. Which is a good point. And I noticed the Giant ditched the Dungeon of Doom music. So kind of like I did like the Dungeon of Doom music, then the transition, and you just run to the ring.
Yeah, now he's just straight NWO music.
Yeah. So the match starts, and Jarrett does a strut, like after every blow he lands on the Giant. And then Flair, he does his strut in the aisleway. So now I'm officially rooting for the Giant. And Flair, Flair tries to slide in with a chair after the Giant hit a big boot on Jarrett. And then Giant has Jarrett bent over backwards on the knee. And Flair tells Jarrett to get up and kick Giant's ass right now. He actually grabs a microphone and cuts like a little mini promo. And I think they cut his mic off.
Yeah, I couldn't really hear. I heard what he was saying, but I couldn't really hear him clearly.
Yeah, it felt like, okay, you said what you needed to say, Rick. Jarrett tried to scoop slam Giant like a moron. And then he decided to put Giant in a figure 4 leg lock outside the ring. Again, like a moron. And while Jarrett does that, Giant just sits up and grabs Jarrett by the throat. And it looks like he's going to go for the choke slam. But then Flair just gets down on his knees and hits Giant in the dick. And that causes a DQ. Then all the Horsemen come out in the ring. They invite the Giant to come get some. Giant tells them all that if they're still there in 2 weeks, they're going to get it.
Yeah, he points at each one of them. You're going to get it. You're going to get it.
Yeah. And this is the weakest the Giant has looked so far.
Well, it was 5-on-1. What are you going to do?
I seem to remember him going 5-on-1. Or was that was probably
that was Hogan.
Yeah.
And that was like 20-on-1.
Yeah.
As he took out the whole Dungeon of Doom.
I think he took out the whole locker room.
Yeah, it was that weird ass match where they were like going through the cage, the 3 layers of hell or whatever. And then the Dungeon of Doom tries to attack him at the end, and he's like fighting them all off.
Well, I'm sure the Giant could have done that too.
Yeah.
So DiBiase's back in the stands with Virgil this time. And he says that's one in the win column for the NWO because they'll take them any way they can get. And of course, the Horsemen had to cheat. But that's okay because Jericho is the next loser. He's a great athlete with a bright future, but Six is going to eat him alive. And Six says he's going to crucify Jericho for the sins of WCW. And he'll be Cruiserweight champion one day. And that leads us to Six versus Chris Jericho. And Six was kind enough to bring his karate with him from the WWF. So that was nice of him.
Yep, gotta have that.
And this was actually a fun match to watch. I liked I like how Six was a little toady. Like he was all arrogant and shit, but couldn't quite back it up.
Yeah.
And basically, Patrick cost Jericho the match because of his injured neck, prevented him from making any efficient count anytime Jericho went for a pin. And it got to the point where the crowd was booing, and then the guys on commentary were counting out loud to see how long it took Patrick to count to 1, 2, 3. And then finally, Six hits a spinning kick on Jericho as he was distracted by, he was kind of getting into it with Patrick. And Patrick just immediately dropped down and counts 1, 2, 3. And Shivani's livid. And Heenan, he's trying to give Patrick the benefit of the doubt. And Shivani tells Heenan, I'm sure your monitor's going to go fuzzy now, but let's look at the replay.
Yeah, he was already in position.
So Jericho chases off Patrick after the match. Didn't look like his neck was that bad. And Patrick actually helped Six to the back, which caused some ire from the commentary guys.
Yeah. I didn't get Heenan's part this time because he was doing the heel thing as he would always do, but he was also doing like babyface thing. Like he was against the NWO, but he wasn't. So he was like switching back and forth the whole night.
Yeah. Well, he was still a heel, but still against the NWO. It's kind of a tweener.
But then he would also cheer, or like he did there. Oh, Patrick was already in position. It was the normal speed count. He was just already there.
Well, I don't think he's sticking up for the NWO there. I think he's sticking up for Nick Patrick. I don't think he's willing to believe that a WCW referee would turn.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mike Tenay interviews Lex Luger. Luger says it didn't have to come to this, but Arn wanted to blame Luger for the War Games loss and threw out the challenge. You planted the seeds, Arn, and now the crop is harvested. And it's not a garden of flowers, it's cactus and thickets of things you'll never want to see. Arn questioned Lex's manhood, and now Luger's going to show him what the total package is all about. And Luger vows to hurt Anderson. And it's Arn Anderson versus Lex Luger. It was billed as a submission match, but I don't know if they actually specifically mentioned that.
They did not. Okay. I did not know that. So,
if physical contests were played out visually, this would have been a squash match in Luger's favor.
For sure.
And this was a straight up fight. Like just when you thought one guy was pulling away from it, the other one would just come back and get back into the match. Luger gets shoved out of the ring, and fans throw a little bit of popcorn on him. And that's when I noticed there was a lot of NWO shirts.
There was. I was noticing a lot of the shirts. Some of them were standing out. Like this guy had, and he was front row, like camera side too. He had like a Papa Shango shirt.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, I'd wear that shirt. Although it did look like it was like spray painted. Or you remember when they used to spray paint shirts? You get the white shirt and you do the little graffiti on it.
Yeah.
It looked like it was that.
Where the portrait would be kind of hidden or blended in. Yeah.
So yeah, it looked like it was that, but still, it was. I would want that shirt.
Well, Arn looks like he has this one in the bag, and he goes for his patented DDT. But Luger holds onto the ropes, sending Anderson by himself to the canvas. And Arn ends up shoving Luger into Mark Curtis, the referee, and then he tries to assassinate Luger with a chair by the ring post. And Luger ends up using the chair himself, and he locks the torture rack onto Arn for the win. And he refuses to let go well after the match. And then he leaves Arn laning. Some medical staff, and then Flair and Jarrett come out, and Arn gets stretchered out. And he proved Luger right, because he looked pretty fucking hurt to me.
I like that if I can mark up a little bit, I like that they protected the torture rack so much so that because he held it on, he had to get stretchered out. It was so devastating. He had to get stretchered out.
Well, remember, he did that to Savage too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Savage pretty much had to get stretchered out.
I don't remember if he got stretchered out, but I did know. Yeah, the torture rack. It is a torture rack. Once you get in it, and if he holds it on after the match, then there's going to be some damage for you. So yeah, it was always one of those protected moves.
Mm-hmm. Well, after that, Tony the Tiger pimps the WCW hotline. And he got me good because he started talking about Sting and how he's the hottest free agent and all that shit. And he just slithered into that WCW ad. Fucker. And then Tony interviews Harlem Heat. And Parker says the bad eggs, the outsiders of the NWO, are in need of reprimanding. And they're going to get it tonight courtesy of the tag team champions. And Sherry says that actually I didn't see her at first. I wasn't really paying attention to this. I was just listening. So when I was watching it, I just saw Parker and Harlem Heat. And then Sherry just appeared. I'm like, where the fuck did she come from? And Sherry says it's going to be Harlem Heat's day and the NWO is going to find out what hurt really is. And Booker says that they're wannabe thugs. And if they came to Harlem, if they came to Harlem Heat's hood, Booker and his brother would jump those two suckers, Harlem style. And Stevie just says, get your bubble gum. Which brings us to Faces of Fear versus Mongo McMichael and Benoit. And McMichael, as he's coming out, he says he's coming for Jimmy Hart. And I notice he has all his accessories now. He's got his Bears jacket. He's got Deborah. He's got the puppy. He's got the Halliburton attaché case.
I didn't see the puppy. I just probably missed it.
Or maybe he didn't have it.
No, I probably missed it. I wasn't paying too close attention to the entrance.
I thought maybe Deborah had it. I didn't expect anything about this match, but I could probably watch Barbarian and Benoit wrestle for an hour. It was great. Mongo doing the sumo thing with Ming was hilarious, especially since Mongo was all cocky about it, and he ended up getting the piss slapped out of him. Of course, Mongo, he did football drills, unlike Lawrence Taylor did.
He sure did.
And then Benoit and Mongo win after Mongo nails Ming with the Halliburton attaché case. And then Benoit hits his diving headbutt. And then Ming takes out takes Mongo out with the Halliburton attaché case after the match. Then he delivers a pile driver to Mongo. And Conan and Big Bubba, who were sitting in the stands the whole show with Kevin Sullivan. Earlier, they showed Conan doing gang signs. And they jump the guardrail and grab at least woman. And then Benoit, he tries to fight everybody. He makes a valiant effort, but Ming finally just kicks him in the face. And everybody just takes turns hitting various kicks on Benoit. And then they just jump him. And then Sullivan, he assassinates Mongo with the Halliburton attaché case. And Sullivan and Hart corner Nancy. And Hart screams, "This would never happen if you would have called him last night like you were supposed to." And Sullivan takes his shirt off and tells Nancy that Benoit isn't the man he is. And he ain't so tough. And then Mongo and Benoit are left laying while Nancy screams for help.
I would say I would have. This is probably the match of the night for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was such a hard hitting affair. I liked everything about it. There was one point where the Barbarian does a top rope belly to belly suplex on Benoit and literally throws him across the ring.
Yeah.
Like, he threw him so far. He went from one side of the ring to the other. And yeah, Mongo doing his little football drills to I don't know, Hulk up. I like that. And yeah, just like how hard hitting it was. And then the post match beatdown. Uh, there was a point where Mongo's laying on his stomach, and yeah, Kevin Sullivan, he hits him with the briefcase in the back of the head.
It was
And
like
then
a
he doesn't.
concerto without the other chair.
Yeah, and then he doesn't move.
Yeah.
Mongo, he like, I believe. Well, no, he turned on his back at some point, or maybe he got turned on his back. But pretty much after he got that, is he didn't move. But there
Sullivan
were
hit him
more
a couple
hits.
more times. Yeah.
So it was just like done, done to a lifeless. You know, I am a fan of when someone keeps getting hit when they're not even moving anymore. When you just hear thud. And yeah, and then even Heenan, he was like, Shivani said, if you're wondering where the other horsemen are, they aren't here. Arn Anderson got stretchered out of here. And then Heenan was like, well, they better turn it around. They're about to need it again.
Great line.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved everything about this.
Yeah, it was good. I don't know if it was quite the match of the night. It was definitely.
I mean, it was pretty. It was up there with the Rey Mysterio Dean Malenko match, just for different reasons.
Right. No, I got you. I don't disagree with you. I think it was the better of the two tag team matches. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, DiBiase's in the stands with Virgil again. He gloats about NWO being 2-0. It says the WCW tag team titles are soon going to be the NWO tag team titles. And there's nothing Harlem Heat can do about it. We don't need a second, third chances because we get it done the first time around. Harlem Heat, it's about to get real hot in here. And you're next on the hit list. Which brings us to the Outsiders versus Harlem Heat. It's for the tag team championship. And I think this match kind of suffered because they did two tag matches in a row. I mean, it suffered from a lot of things, but right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like, another tag match. So the Outsiders grab the titles before the bell rings, and they hold them up. It's the old school heel thing. And apparently, somewhere a fight broke out amongst the fans. They tried to play, oh, is Hogan here? But no, it turned out to be fans. And I'm tickled at the mental image of two fat fucks in wrestling shirts just slap fighting. Like NWO, WCW.
Is that what it was? A fight?
I would think so. That'd be the only thing that would, unless people were fucking.
Yeah, it's probably a fight. You know, they get those drinks in them.
Yeah. Well, Hall spit on Stevie Ray, and then immediately tagged in Nash, which was probably the smart move. And Stevie ends up spitting on Hall again. Stevie ends up hitting or spitting on. God damn. Stevie ends up spitting on Hall too, but his loogie wasn't as good at all. Like Hall really connected. Sherry slaps Hall, so he plants a smooch on her, while Parker just kicks and flails about on the floor. And Dusty says, he's swapping spit with Sherry in the damn desert. And Sherry starts yelling at Parker and wiping her mouth. And the Harlem Heat hit the Harlem Hangover, and the ref decides to focus on getting the illegal Harlem Heat guy out of the ring. I think it was Booker. So Nash goes to break up the pin, and Parker follows behind to whack Nash with his cane. But Nash sees him. So he grabs Parker by the throat and demands he hand the cane over, which Parker does, then hightails it back to the locker room. Nash hits Stevie with Parker's cane. Hall gets the cover. NWO win the belts. And I think there was a good wrestling match hidden underneath all that bullshit somewhere. It's just really hard to find.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this man.
All right.
There was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Sherry was back to looking decent. I'll say that. You know, because last week she didn't, or I'm sorry, last pay per view she really didn't bring it, but this one she's back in form, so that's good for her.
It is good for
And
her.
I forgot who the referee was, but yeah, the cane spot, Colonel Sanders had to save himself, so he just gave up. Yeah, you can have it.
I think
And
it was
then
Randy Anderson.
Nash hits Stevie Ray twice because I guess he was trying to break the cane, but it didn't break the first time, so he had to hit him again. And yeah, we got new tag team champions.
Yep. That just seems like that's all this whole thing was designed to do. I don't care how we do it. Let's just get the belts on the outsiders.
Yeah. And they said the NWO takeover is almost complete. I guess they just need the cruiserweight. Yeah. Because they have the US title. Not winning it, but they have it.
There's also the television title.
Who's the television champion?
Hmm.
I guess it would have been, yeah. I forgot. This is like 20 years ago.
I always remember Regal having it.
Yeah.
Well, they cut to Hollywood Hogan. He's in the stands, and the Giant is with him, which is funny because they said security ushered him away during the Outsiders match.
Well,
Hogan
they did
addressed.
make a point. I was going to say, they did make a point that said after each of their matches, they've been escorted out of the building.
Yeah.
And they were escorted in by security to keep their safety. So,
Okay. NWO addresses his NWOites in a ridiculous wig. And he brags about taking over the box office with his silver screen classic, Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain. Then he says he's got a body slam Savage, who he calls his lost puppy.
And he also pimped a movie, Santa with Muscles,
Oh.
which I never heard of. So I was like, oh, there's one. Gotta go watch that one. maybe we could do a review during Christmas time. Santa with Muscles. We'll write that down.
All right.
We try different things on this channel.
So then we get to Hollywood Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. And I noticed the buffer stopped calling Hogan the man who turned his back on WCW. I also noticed that they prematurely played Savage's music during Hogan's introduction, which is kind of embarrassing.
Well, it's because they did it out of order, I think.
Okay.
Because I guess because Hogan did what he did, it kind of threw things off.
Yeah, I see that. Macho Man came out and he looks like he's calling for someone to come out with him. And after a really long time of him just waving whoever it is to come over, it turns out to be the stupid monster truck. Giants ejected from ringside immediately. And then Hogan proceeds to wrestle Savage in the wig and sunglasses.
Boy, that wig was ridiculous.
Savage gets Hogan's sunglasses and puts them on and sticks his tongue out. And then he takes Hogan's wig. And then Hogan acts like we haven't seen him wrestle without hair for the last decade. He was grabbing his head like, oh no, I'm bald. Like, motherfucker.
And he had the rest of his hair in a ponytail.
Yeah. Savage used a chair on Hogan while standing right next to the referee, and the ref did absolutely nothing about it. But to be fair, Hogan got a chair shot on, so I guess it was fair. And
Yeah, it was more of a no DQ match, I would say. I don't know. They were hitting right in front of the ref.
Yeah. Savage at one point he feeds the wig to Hogan. So that was something. And then literally like right after they did a spot where DiBiase distracted the ref, so Hogan, or I'm sorry, like right after Hogan, or God, right after Savage. No. Right after Hogan used the chair on Savage, they did a spot where DiBiase distract the referee, so Hogan can hit the Savage with a chair. So that made no sense to me. It seemed like wasted effort, since the referee clearly doesn't give a shit about chairs. Hogan kisses Savage on the forehead, and at that time, Elizabeth decides to come out to get spit on.
She didn't get spit. She didn't get spit on this time, though.
She might as well have. I could have gone my whole life without seeing Hogan's ass crack.
Savage really had a hold of those tights, though.
Yeah.
Like, there was that one point where Hogan steps over, so his so he's facing Savage now, and Savage is like hand underneath, still holding on to the tights. Like, he was really determined, I guess, for whatever he was trying to do.
Show that ass crack is what he was trying to do.
It's like that's his only defense is to pull his pants down.
Hogan uses Elizabeth like a shield before tossing her at Savage and running like a pussy, which I thought was hilarious. And eventually, Elizabeth is tired of seeing Savage get his ass beat. And then she does like the cover thing where she protects him. And Hogan screams at Elizabeth and tells her he owns her. Then he goes for the leg drop and misses. And then Tony says, "Never before has Hogan badmouthed a woman in between a big foot and the leg drop." And that cost him.
Yep. That's the first.
Yeah. Hogan gets a slapjack to use on Savage, but Elizabeth takes it away from him. And the referee ends up getting the clotheslined. But thankfully, Nick Patrick comes out to replace him. But so does Mark Curtis. And Savage ends up hitting his elbow. Patrick goes for the count. And his neck fucks him at the 3 count. And Savage kicks Nick Patrick's ass. And Hogan gets the slapjack again, but fails to hit Savage. Savage gets it and nails Hogan. Savage goes for another elbow drop, but DiBiase shuts him down. And Savage goes after DiBiase. Giant comes out, he choke slams Savage on the floor. Then he rolls Savage's carcass back into the ring. He drags Hogan's lifeless body on top of Savage so he can get the pin. And Giant comes out later. I guess he went to the back to get a giant chalice of ice water so he can pour it on Hogan. And Hogan's surprised that he won, but he celebrates nonetheless.
Yep. He was unconscious, so he didn't know he won. Yeah.
And right when Hogan says, "Is there any doubt who the real kings of Hollywood are?" you just hear this drumming and then bagpipe music. Hogan looks around and everybody's confused, except for the crowd. They clearly know who it is. Of course, out comes Rowdy Roddy Piper. And I gotta say, their entrances suck.
The music or
them coming out. Like, think about how if Piper would have came out in WWE, like, just think about how that entrance would have looked like.
Yeah, they did get it right over there.
So Piper and Hogan, they proceed to go over through a long meandering promo. They basically touch upon their history with each other in the WWF and how Hogan's never beaten Piper and how Piper's just as big of an icon as Hogan is. And just when they shake hands and Piper tells him to straighten up, Hogan tells Piper to piss while he's sitting down. Then Piper takes Hogan's belt and just to hand it back over to him. Like, "Oh, you can have this back for now." And yeah, the pay-per-view ends with Piper giving Hogan the riot act.
And boy, did it in. Like, I believe the last thing Hogan said was, "Now we got a problem." And then it just like cuts. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. I always wondered why they had to like cut it short. It's pay-per-view.
It's because you still have a specific block of time.
Oh, I guess there's that.
So, yep, Piper's back. NWO still reigns supreme, although their grip doesn't feel as ironclad as it did the last pay-per-view. And we see Nick Patrick is slowly transitioning to the black and white. and Savage is still shit on.
Yep, they have to get that in on him.
And next week, I believe, is. Do you know? If not, I'll take a look real quick.
We got WrestleMania 12, and then I believe it's Slamboree.
Okay.
That could be wrong.
Well, either way, we are finally catching up with the WWF pay-per-views are catching up with the WCW pay-per-views, so now we're really going to be comparing apples to apples. And WrestleMania 12 is an exciting one. Only 6 matches. Of course, we get Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match. We got Roddy Piper versus Goldust in the infamous Hollywood Street Fight. Stone Cold makes his WrestleMania debut against Savio Vega. Taker takes on Diesel. Ultimate Warrior faces Hunter Hearst Helmsley in his WrestleMania debut.
Oh, I know that one.
And yeah.
I think we all know that one.
Yeah. That is our Wrestling Rewind.
So the pay-per-view is pretty much built on Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match. Which, of course, it is an Iron Man match, so... I never remembered, though, why it became an Iron Man match. Like, he won the Rumble, so he should just have his match, but I don't remember why it turned...
It was probably suggested. I know they do a video package.
Good. We'll figure it out. Or maybe it was something like, you don't want to just get lucky and beat me.
Yeah, I can't. I know there was obviously there was a challenge for it, and it was answered, but I can't remember the specifics.
Okay. Fair enough. But yes, that is the Wrestling Rewind. News-wise, I don't really think we have too much. Let me go check. Oh, so let's just do this real quick. So the WWE has released... Hold on. Let me get that. I'm going to do that a little bit better. The WWE has released their 2K24 overall ratings for the wrestlers, and we're going to overreact to some of them. And we start off with the lowest ranked person on the list, Maxine Dupree. Her ranking is a
63.
64, which
that's pretty high.
Yeah. Lowest on the list, but yeah, that is pretty. Think you would have a 50 rating. You can improve. It's just, much more room to improve, right? Yeah.
I don't think there's any improvement there.
Well, we'll see what she jumps up onto.
How is Braun Breaker 80 when he hasn't? He just got there.
That does seem pretty high, but it's lower than Carmelo Hayes, who's an 81. For reference, Chad Gable, Kofi Kingston are both 80s. So they put, and Ricochet is 81 as well. He hadn't even been on TV in a year. And for reference, Big E is a 78. So Ricochet is 2 points better, 3 points, whatever the number is there, 3 points better than Big E.
There you go. The Miz is an 81.
Mm, that seems about fair.
You think he's 3 points better than Big E?
No, Big E should be higher, but 81 is fair for the Miz. Well, let's switch Ricochet and Big E. Put Ricochet at the 78 and Big E as the 81.
Yeah.
Now, I guess some of that could be because he's been hurt, and he's currently still hurt. So there could be that could be in the factor of it all. Um, Now let's get to some of the heavy hitters here. AJ Styles, he pulls in at an 85. Would you say that is good or bad? Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
Yeah, I'd say properly rated.
I would agree, properly rated. Solo Sikoa, he's at an 86.
Underrated.
I would agree too, underrated. He beat John Cena, for Christ's sakes. Um, what about LA Knight? He is 88. Overrated, underrated, properly rated.
That's ooh. Underrated because Logan Paul's ahead of him. Jey Uso's ahead of him. Yeah, underrated.
I agree. I would put him at a he should be at least in the 90s, up there with yeah, Jey Uso. Speaking of Jey Uso, he is ranked 90. Logan Paul is also ranked 90. But there's a third person in that group of 90 overall rated. And I ask, overrated, underrated, properly rated Gunther, who ranks in at a 90. I would just say this is pretty much why we did this whole listing.
To get my reaction on Gunther's rating.
Well, I can go first. He's underrated.
Of course, he's
He
underrated.
Now I don't know how much.
Well,
I mean,
clearly he needs to be a
probably.
99.
Well, there's not a 99 this year.
There should exactly. They fucked up because Gunther's not a 99. Better than that Roman Reigns Joker.
Well,
No,
you
I'd put
have.
him at like a 95.
I don't know if I put him that high. Um, what I see is if Logan Paul's a 90, they're both your mid-tier champions, so it kind of makes sense why they would do that. But yeah, I would put him, I don't know, 92, 93.
Okay.
And then that would put him in the tier with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now the next question is of Cody Rhodes. He's a 93 overall. Would you say that is overrated, underrated, or properly rated? Did you drop off?
What's that?
Oh. Oh, I said, did you drop off?
No, yeah, you got my thing got unplugged. Can you repeat what you just said?
Oh yeah, we got Cody Rhodes, underrated, overrated, properly rated at a 93.
Well, if I had said that Gunther should be a 95, then by my logic, he would be underrated. I think he should be right around. First of all, I don't think Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley would be ahead of Cody. That's first of all.
That's fair. I mean, I could see Rhea Ripley, um, just because she's the champion, and if you're judging her based off of the women's division, she's far and away on the with in the women's division. She's far and away. For reference, EO is your other champion, and she's, I believe, at 88.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
she's
an
on the
88.
list. That's nice of him.
So, but I mean, 96. She's the second highest rated person in the game, behind Roman Reigns, who's a 97, down from a 99 last year.
Oh, that's hella overrated.
Hmm.
I don't have a problem with her being the highest rated female wrestler, but first of all, she doesn't wrestle. I just I don't know what their criteria is for this.
I don't know either, but um, I mean, again, I can see her being the top woman in the division, and it's not even close. Now, what about Bianca Belair's 1 point behind her? That's another thing.
Oh, I know why.
For full disclaimer, apparently you can change these ratings, so seemingly it's okay. But I like to think that these ratings are like it lets it kind of says where like 2K thinks these people are
Mm,
on the rank or on the roster. So like, when you get a 64 overall for Maxine Dupree, it's that she's pretty low on the totem pole.
right.
So I think it's a good judge for that.
McTurd's just above Tozawa.
Well, he hasn't won a match. Well, no, he's won one match.
Yeah.
Um, aside from that, I don't think anybody's like really aside from the top. I don't think anybody's like Austin Theory being a 72 seems kind of odd, especially since he a couple of years ago beat John Cena at WrestleMania. He won my Elimination Chamber.
Which has turned out to be a curse.
I guess so. And he also just won. He won that Elimination Chamber. I think that was last year. So seems kind of low to be a 72. Where's Grayson Waller? Grayson Waller is a 74. Okay. Grouping together there. Chelsea Green's a 75, by the way. So she's you telling me you go to Karrion Cross is a 75.
See, that doesn't make any sense.
So you go tell me Karrion Cross 3 points better than Austin Theory.
Yeah, that don't make any sense whatsoever. Should be like the old rating system where the highest girl was like 80. It was just downhill from there.
Yeah, that's the highest they can get.
Yeah. Because there's no
Weren't they
fucking
in
way.
like the 70s? Like 75 was the highest. Like Trish Stratus was 75.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And if you put them in a match together, you know what's going to happen.
Not titties.
Yeah. They had bra and panty match in the game. What a time to be a wrestling fan, huh?
Yep.
Anyway, that's the WWE ratings. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who do you think is overrated or underrated? And I gotta refilm the intro. So what is happening right now, right?
Are you refilming the intro?
Yeah, hold on. That buzz threw me off. The WWE just released their 2K20. The WWE just released their 2K24. God damn it. The WWE just released their 2K24 superstar ratings, and we're gonna sit and we're gonna and we're gonna overreact to them. Do we think they're underrated, overrated, or properly rated? Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll get into the video. There you go. Trying that YouTuber thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My voice was all up and everything. I think that's about it. Oh, one other little thing here. The Wrestling Observer News just released their Booker of the Year for 2023. Why it is now February and we're talking about this, I don't know. But the Booker of the Year is not Tony Khan. It is Triple H. I know, right? So that little made up little list thing, Booker of the Year, Tony Khan holds so valuable, he did not win it.
Shots fired.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have some stuff to say about it, but
yeah. It's a shame that Dave already destroyed his credibility before he started speaking the truth.
Yeah, he seems to have turned. He turned. I don't know.
He turned a while ago.
He sure did. I don't know when it happened, but it did.
AEW.
They attacked him?
No. When you say turn, which turn are you talking about?
He used to ride that dick of AEW. Now he doesn't.
Oh, because he can't hide from the truth anymore.
Oh, he's just giving in.
Because he was given like Orange Cassidy 5-star matches. I think these ridiculous fucks have more 5-star matches than Ric Flair do. And there's not one single Ric Flair's in the company. He's better than anybody that they have.
It's true.
And yeah, he just riding that AEW dick just killed him and his credibility. Because he would blatantly just lie.
Well, now he's turning the corner, and
I think he sees the writing on the wall and he's trying to get back.
vote or
I think it's a fan vote, but I don't know anything about his newsletter, to be honest with you. I used to listen to the podcast.
I don't. But I saw that news, so I thought it was pretty big. I don't know if we should put a video out on it though, because we already got the AEW crybaby bitches after us, so no need to poke the bear. Anyway, on that note, if you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. Help us get there. And is there anything else?
Just have a good night.
And until next time, top guys.